Family Cultivation. I can improve my magic weapon. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 251 Dawn and number 039 T Panic. Just kill everyone. Zhu Zili smiled a little. He is one of the leaders of the Star Sect stationed on Kizu Island. His cultivation has reached the peak of foundation building and he is the captain of this combat team. He was the one who raised his hand when he originally proposed sending a message for help. Chen Xianming, Zhu Guangshu and the other foundation builders looked at each other in disbelief. Chen Xianming stepped forward, nodded and responded, "Exactly. We received the summons and came to support." Good. When Zhu Zili heard this, he couldn't help but look overjoyed. He glanced at Chen Qingyun and others and said, "The war situation is urgent. I'd better tell you about the situation here first." Zhu Zili began to speak quickly. It turned out that a total of 3 secondary beast tides launched attacks on Kizu Island. A total of about 17,000 monsters attacked the coastline to destroy this frontline fortress. In the tide of monsters here, more than a dozen third-level monsters have been killed by the Zaifu monks of the Star Sect. After quickly beheading the third-order monsters, the two Xingzong Zaifu rushed to the south of Kizu Island and launched a battle against the larger group of second-order monsters, fighting against 6 third-order monsters. In the current sea area, the number of monster beasts has reached more than 9,000, which has almost reached the scale of a first-level beast tide. There are only more than 300 monks stationed here. The remaining personnel were divided into 2 groups. One group went to the south of the island to fight against the beast tide there, and the other group rushed to Heiazu Island a few days ago for support. Zhu Zili spoke concisely and clearly, and quickly informed them of the number of these 2 batches of monsters and their current combat effectiveness. Their main purpose is to fight on the basis of garrisoning Kizu Island. It is not necessary to clean up all the monsters. You can leave some fish that have slipped through the net and let the Taoist friends on the rear defense line deal with them. Under the layers of defense laid by Xingzong, it is enough to defeat the beast tide. Even if the remnants of the monster beasts enter the inner star sea, it will not be a big problem. This is the situation. I hope all fellow Taoists will help me to eliminate this wave of monsters first. How about we discuss it in detail after the crisis is resolved? After finishing the narration, Zhu Zili invited everyone to take action. Okay, without further ado, let's take action together. Chen Xianming nodded heavily. Now is really not the time for small talk. He hurriedly came here for support. The first priority must be to help and fight against those monsters. Please, rest assured, fellow Taoist Zhu, since we are here, we will definitely go all out. Stop saying anything and let's fight. If there are no third-level monsters, there is nothing to be afraid of. We can kill as many as we can. After learning Zhu Zili's thoughts, the group of people took off their flying magic weapons and quickly joined the battle. Chen Qingyun stepped on the empty boat, and the 2 puppets of 5 elements and Lu escaped into the sea silently, and launched water-based magic to attack. Chen Qingyun stepped on the Hunyuan boat and sacrificed the Bingning Hengsu sword. This sword is a first-class magic weapon that she exchanged with her family for the battle. After using the Hunyuan sword technique, 7 rays of cold snow sword light roared out, each of them 2 or 3 feet in size, covering 3 first-level monsters. With her strength, she also has the best magic weapon in hand. After the 7 rays of cold snow sword light fell, the 3 monster beasts had no resistance and were killed in an instant. Chen Qingyun was the first to gain 30 points of combat merit. Around them, Chen Dohai, Chen Dalin and others also took action with all their strength, using the Aoki Cauldron and the Condensing Mirror to launch a fierce offensive. The 9 Chen family monks did not spread out, they deliberately gathered in the same sea area. While they were fighting against the enemy, they also paid attention to the fighting situation of the surrounding tribesmen. That is to say, the Chen family's formation method is underdeveloped. There is no way, like Ling Baoshan and the Zhang family, Several monks gathered together and jointly used flying sword demon slaying formations, thunderbolt drawing formations and other formations to quickly kill the enemy. For subsequent exchanges, you have to exchange 1 or 2 formations to enhance your foundation. In the Boundless Sea area, 4 aqua blue figures moved rapidly in the sea, performing water arrow techniques, ice blade techniques, etc., focusing on the foundation building monsters to launch attacks. With the 4 puppets of the 5 elements and Li who are at the peak of foundation establishment, it can be said that they can beat these monsters. If you encounter someone with a stronger defense and a bit more difficult to defeat, just join forces to kill them. Launching an offensive from the sea, there were more than 600 monks present, and only 3 foundation building monks were doing this. Moreover, he still wraps his body with the light of a magic weapon and wraps up layers of defenses, which can be said to be particularly cautious. Originally, if I rushed into the water, I might be surrounded by monsters, trying to catch turtles in a jar. Who would be willing to fight so hard if it wasn't to kill the monsters quickly? But after all, there are people who want to fight like this. There are cases like Chen Qingyun, who used 4 foundation building peak puppets to harvest monsters on a large scale in the sea. And that's not all yet. Chen Qingyun himself used the golden spirit mother blade, split it into 9 pieces, and slashed at 5 monsters at the same time. Around him, a total of 9 magic weapons were displayed, including the 1000-star demon slaying sword, the green flame sword, the red lotus fairy sword, the golden crow ring, and even the transparent silk thread. With such an intensity of attack, the combat effectiveness is comparable to 6 or 7 peak foundation building monks. The surrounding monks saw the green flame sword, golden crow ring and other magic weapons unfolding their power. Those who were not familiar with it did not know that it was Chen Qingyun who was taking action, thinking that these magic weapons were made by different monks. Only Chen Qingyun, Chen Daoran and other Chen family monks knew this very well. While everyone is busy killing monsters, who has the time to count the magic weapons and which magic weapons belong to whom? Chen Qingyun was trying to fish in troubled waters. Under the sea, he ordered the 5 elements to fight. On the sea, he rode on the sky-crossing boat to kill people everywhere. While others were fighting, they calculated how much mana they had left, and they saved as much as they could. Chen Qingyun had 2 divine sea blue lotus platforms as his true essence reserves, and his spiritual awareness far exceeded that of all the cultivators present, so he was much more generous when he started fighting. He did not need to be cautious, and his moves were open and closed. Only half an incense stick of time had passed, and although Qin Xiang, Li Xinyuan and others had killed more than 10 monsters, their mana had been consumed by more than half. Even the cultivators of Xingzan and Lingbao Mountain were already taking pills to restore their mana. Due to the existence of these 2 second-level beast tides, there were also giant and cultivators who took some elite cultivators to other front-line fortresses for support. In the southern part of the island, there was another second-level beast tide attacking the coastline, and there were not many cultivators who could stay here to fight. It is impossible to divide into 2 or 3 combat teams and send one wave to charge forward as in the past. Then, after the mana of the wave of monks is consumed too much, they will retreat to rest and let another wave of monks fight. Although there are not many people, their combat effectiveness is not inferior to these 2 groups of monsters. On the contrary, on average, everyone can kill more and gain more military merits. There is no need to panic, just kill them all. Chapter 252. Who said? No one responded. Above the beast tide. Chen Qingyun offered the red dragon flag. The flag fluttered. The red dragon soul flew into the air, and in a dozen breaths, he killed several second-level monsters. Fellow Taoist, you are very skilled. Chen Qingyun's actions of killing the surrounding monsters with absolute strength soon attracted Zhu Zili's admiration. According to this progress, this beast tide will be wiped out in half an hour at most. And are there any tricky monsters in the beast tide? There are indeed a few. Among them is a deep-sea baby carp, whose strength has reached the peak of the foundation building period. It opened its mouth several times and flew out of the sea, biting several chi-refining casual cultivators to pieces. Facing this level of monster, It is still thick-skinned and has a strong shell defense. Ordinary second-level magic weapons are really helpless. The two Lingbo Shan Foundation building cultivators join forces to use the Tanlzi and the Flying Shuttle magic weapon to launch a strong attack. After more than a dozen moves, they did not seriously injure the opponent. Seeing this, the two Lingbao Mountain Foundation building cultivators simply gave up the attack and turned to deal with other monsters. The deep-sea baby carp was angry and became extremely irritable and bloodthirsty in the shallow sea. It waved its huge body, stirred up waves, and rushed to the area where the Liu family cultivators were. No, hide. A female cultivator of the Liu family was shocked and instinctively urged the flying boat to take off and quickly hide. Around, other Liu family cultivators who had gathered in an area and fought together were originally highly alert, guarding against monsters attacking them. Hearing the reminder, they responded immediately and scattered like birds and beasts. However, there are always people who are slow or delayed by monsters. A Liu family Qi refining cultivator was unable to dodge and was first hit by the waves, temporarily losing his flying balance, and then screamed. He saw the deep-sea baby carp roaring and swinging its giant tail fiercely. The tail fin on the giant tail was sharp and pointed, looking extremely ferocious. When it was swung suddenly, it was enough to split the rocks easily, and its power was no less than that of a magic weapon attack. Even at the critical moment, he quickly pulled away to dodge. But his feet were still hit by the sharp giant tail, and the flying boat magic weapon was broken into pieces, and the whole person fell into the sea. Fortunately, Yu Heqing was quick-witted and immediately performed the woodwinding technique, hitting a vine to bind him tightly and pull him back. A saw-toothed tiger shark took the opportunity to launch a sneak attack, suddenly jumped out of the sea, and almost bit his thigh. If Liu Heqing hadn't pulled him, he would have ended up in the mouth of the saw-toothed tiger shark. After experiencing life and death twice, the crotch of this young Liu family Qi refining cultivator was already wet. He was so scared that his face turned pale and his body was shaking. Liu Heqing frowned and pulled his little grandson onto the divine wind boat, where he collapsed in shock. A nearby Liu family cultivator came over, and he took this person and retreated far to the side, taking the opportunity to comfort and rest, and temporarily stopped hunting monsters. Seeing that the deep-sea baby carp was about to attack, Liu Heqing looked around for help. Among the fellow tribesmen around him, one was in the early stage of foundation building, one was in the middle stage of foundation building, and the rest were in the Qi refining stage. The Liu family's combat power was obviously far from enough to deal with the deep-sea baby carp. No one would do such a stupid thing as to take their own people to die. Seeing this, Liu Heqing wanted to shout to his tribesmen to evacuate this sea area and not to be exposed to the attack range of the second-level peak monster. The next moment, he saw from the corner of his eye that the deep-sea baby carp was already galloping in the sea, opening its mouth to bite him. This monster was somewhat vengeful, and seeing the prey in its mouth being rescued by Liu Heqing, it decided to swallow him to vent its anger. Knowing that he was not strong enough and being targeted by his opponent, Liu Heqing gritted his teeth, breaking the mountain with sharp thorns. He decisively activated a second-level gold talisman. 9 khaki spears were launched, containing extremely strong penetrating power, forming a triangular formation and piercing through the air, bursting out with a whirring sound. The deep-sea baby carp has a violent temperament, and is fearless but not to the point of fear of death. Its body suddenly shrank after it flew out, hugged a group, and rolled into a circle, using the hard shell on its back to resist. The 9 spears pierced its shell firmly, but did not break the shell defense, but only left 9 marks, and it completely collapsed. The deep-sea baby carp resolved the attack and fell into the sea, causing a large wave. It had a fierce look on its face, and it looked up and roared at Liu Heqing, full of provocation. This action was like a predator playing with its prey before killing it. What? Seeing that the second-level superior talisman did not break the deep-sea baby carp's defense, Liu Heqing's expression changed slightly and he was stunned. Several Liu family cultivators and even casual cultivators around noticed the situation here and were surprised at the strength of the deep-sea baby carp. At least they were not sure to resist the mountain-breaking thorn just now, which undoubtedly showed the opponent's strong defense. The battle had reached this point, and Liu Heqing was regarded as prey by the opponent. Even if he was afraid, he would not turn around and run. He drove the Divine Wind boat and prepared to try to contain the deep-sea baby carp first. When Qin Xiang, Zhu Zili and others had time, they would try to kill it together. He thought so, but the deep-sea baby carp obviously didn't want to give him this opportunity. It danced its body, rushing forward like a tank, knocking over several monsters that blocked its way. The black demonic light surged from its mouth, and it opened its mouth to bite. Faced with the attack of the deep-sea infant carp, and with the tribesmen around him to worry about, Liu Heqing unfolded the green armor shield and expanded a 6-jiang-sized shield to block in front of him. Bang! The deep-sea infant carp bit the green armor shield fiercely, and its upper and lower jaws were pressed against it. It shook its head and bit it madly, trying to bite the shield in its mouth to pieces. Liu Heqing did not dare to be careless, and stepped back and avoided it from a distance. This level of battle has attracted the attention of cultivators from several forces around. Qin Xiang, Li Xinyuan, Zhu Zili, and even Chen Daoran and other foundation-building cultivators all looked at it sideways. But because of fear or because they were busy beheading demons, they did not intend to step forward to help for a while. Boom! With the sound of breaking like iron pieces, the green armor shield exploded. This second level medium-grade magic weapon finally couldn't hold on and was bitten to pieces by the terrifying bite force of the deep-sea infant carp. Seeing this, Liu Heqing couldn't stay calm now. It's not a solution to go on like this, we must find someone to join forces. So, he didn't care about his face anymore, and he shouted loudly, "Which Taoist fellow is willing to lend me a hand?" As soon as the voice fell, it spread over a distance of several hundred feet. There were limited foundation-building cultivators present, and even fewer who had reached the peak of foundation building. This made everyone feel apprehensive when they saw that it was the deep-sea infant carp. Instead of fighting the deep-sea infant carp to death, it would be better to kill other weaker monsters. It's clear which is more important. Hey! Just as Liu Heqing sighed slightly, seeing that no one was willing to join forces, he prepared to change positions and no longer entangle with the deep-sea infant carp. At this moment, a figure of a flying boat suddenly flew over his head and rushed towards the deep-sea infant carp. Who said no one responded. Someone took the initiative to attack the deep-sea infant carp. Chapter 253 Ice sculptures on the sea stunned the audience. When Liu Heqing was about to withdraw, he looked over and saw a familiar figure breaking through the air at high speed and rushing towards the deep-sea baby carp. He couldn't help but exclaim in surprise, "Chen Qingyun!" The last moment, he saw Chen Qingyun fighting a second-level wind-splitting black fire bird, and it seemed that he had no time to help him. At this moment, the demon bird had disappeared and was obviously killed. This Chen family cultivator is so efficient in killing demons! Before Liu Heqing could think more, the roar of the deep-sea baby carp resounded throughout the sea, pulling his thoughts back. The deep-sea baby carp wanted to chase Liu Heqing, but when it saw that the prey was coming to it, it quickly launched an offensive to devour Chen Qingyun. However, as soon as it took action, it suddenly felt that its body was being bound by two forces from the sea. For a moment, it couldn't break free. He ordered Qixing and Baoang to use the wood entanglement technique to firmly restrain the deep-sea baby carp from the opposite direction. Chen Qingyun said nothing and was already close to its head. He spread his palm and hit it downward. A nice blue light was cold and chilling, and it quickly fell and hit the head of the deep-sea baby carp. The bone-chilling coldness spread from its head at a speed visible to the naked eye. Ka. Its mouth-opening movement was stopped abruptly and frozen. Then, this chill swept through its whole body from top to bottom, like a baptism of storm. The cold chill was rampant, and the temperature between heaven and earth dropped sharply. The deep-sea baby carp had no power to resist and turned into an ice sculpture in an instant. The surrounding seawater was frozen together, standing on the sea surface, becoming a unique landscape, reflecting the rays of the sun. Chen Qingyun was covered when he performed the dry dark ice and fire. There is no need to hide the action of freezing the opponent in an instant. So, quickly killed? This is a peak foundation building monster. At this moment, Liu Heqing, Qin Ziyang and others who noticed the battle here were stunned for a moment, shocked by this method. When they saw Chen Qingyun take action, they thought that the opponent would use flying swords and various magic weapons to launch a strong attack. Just like Liu Heqing did before. But when Chen Qingyun really took action, he did not do so. Instead, he used a method similar to ice magic to freeze the opponent into an ice sculpture. To achieve this freezing efficiency, how much powerful magic power is needed? No one on the scene thought they could do this. The blood, joints, and even teeth of the deep-sea baby carp were frozen by the dry ghost ice and fire. The deep-sea baby carp could not move at all, and the demonic power in the body could not be activated at all. It tried to twist its body and struggle to break the ice. But the dry ghost ice and fire did not give it this opportunity. Under the attack of such extremely cold spiritual fire, it took only 2 or 3 breaths for its consciousness and vitality to be wiped out by the bone-chilling power and turned into a dead object. There was no need to even make a finishing blow. Chen Qingyun looked indifferent, waved his right hand, and 5 rings appeared on his fingertips, shooting out 5 transparent silk threads, cutting downwards. The deep-sea baby carp was cut into several pieces and torn into pieces. The cut was smooth and flat, without any blood spilling. Then Chen Qingyun flipped his palm, took out the Qingguang gourd, and put all the broken monster bodies into the gourd in one fell swoop. In the eyes of others, Chen Qingyun's entire process of taking action was just flying over, stretching his hand down, and everything was collected. It can be said to be quite simple. With Liu Heqing's previous various tricks, he couldn't do anything to the deep-sea baby carp. And then look at Chen Qingyun's entire killing process. The huge gap in strength between the two was fully reflected at this moment. If there were no monsters to be cleaned up, everyone would have been stunned for a long time instead of just staring at them. Facing the gazes of more than a dozen people, Chen Qingyun calmly urged the 7 stars and 8 desolations to act separately and continue to kill monsters in the sea. At this time, a chi refining stage monster bird flapped its wings and flew over, launching a sneak attack from behind Chen Qingyun. "Be careful behind you," Liu Heqing reminded him, but before he finished speaking, the monster bird was beheaded by the 1,000-star demon-slaying sword as soon as it approached. After killing another monster, Chen Qingyun turned around and looked at Liu Heqing indifferently, nodding slightly, indicating that the threat to him had been lifted. As for the demon pill of the deep-sea infant carp, he took it away. When Liu Heqing met Chen Qingyun's eyes, he couldn't calm down at this time, and his cognition was refreshed again. He realized that he had underestimated the opponent's strength. He wanted to express his gratitude, but his expression was still shocked. Finally, he simply clasped his fists and said one word with admiration. "Good." A simple word, from the heart. It was an emotion for Chen Qingyun's powerful strength. It was also a feeling of gratitude and admiration. After Chen Qingyun killed the deep-sea infant carp, the power of the monster group was weakened again. There were no peak foundation building monsters wreaking havoc, so everyone was less cautious when they took action. What were they afraid of? If Chen Qingyun and his team hadn't come to support this battle. To wipe out this patch of monsters, Zhu Zili's team would have to spend a lot of effort. Now, dozens of foundation building monsters have been killed, which makes it easier to fight. Everyone used various tricks and fought fiercely. As the battle continued, a large number of monsters were killed one after another, and their bodies floated on the sea, dyeing the sea red. The cultivators on Kizu Island saw that Chen Qingyun and his team were not weak in combat power, and they also felt confident. They simply dispersed and drove the beast tide towards the center, wanting to surround and clean them up. If they could kill them on the spot and gain military merit, then these monsters would not be left for the Taoist friends on the second front. We will accept it with a smile. In this way, more than 600 cultivators joined forces. There was also Chen Qingyun, the old demon who was building the foundation, fighting on the sea and under the sea at the same time, taking a two-pronged approach. More than 300 second-level monsters in the beast tide fled, died, and were quickly cleaned up. The remaining monsters were no longer a threat. They wanted to escape and dive into the sea, but were quickly intercepted by several puppets of the five elements and killed in a moment. Several Xingzong Foundation builders simply cooperated and cast a net of heaven and earth. One by one, the big nets were spread out and combined together. After covering the sea, with a few shouts, more than 200 monsters were captured and pulled out of the sea. At this time, several other Xingzong Foundation builders took the opportunity to activate the freezing talisman. Although the freezing effect of this kind of ice talisman is far inferior to that of Ganyu ice and fire. But after it was cast, it directly froze the sea surface of hundreds of feet below the big net, condensing a thick and hard ice layer. The monsters in the net roared, struggled, and fell on the frozen sea surface with a bang, and dozens of magic weapons hit them. The group of monsters was killed and fled in all directions. How could they resist such a battle of cultivators? Then, in less than half an hour, this wave of beasts was killed. This reinforcement of the Chen family team ended with a quick victory. Everyone cleaned up the battlefield, boarded the island, and sent a few cultivators to keep watch, and each began to recover their mana. Not long after, when everyone's mana was fully recovered, Zhu Zili then stood up and took the initiative to gather several foundation leaders together to talk about the recent battle on Kizu Island. Chapter 254. Now that we are here, why not go over and take a look? Kizu Island is a strategic fortress of the first line of defense, so there must be a lot of people deployed here, and there will be no shortage of giant and monks. Everyone listened carefully, and Zhu Zili spoke slowly and steadily. Everyone knows the importance of the location of this island, so I won't elaborate on it. There are a total of 1,000 monks stationed on the island. Among them, there are 600 people from Xingzong, 200 people from Yaoang Mountain and Lingbao Mountain, all under the command of Qixing Patriarch. In the past 2 days, we have encountered attacks from 3 level 2 beast tides and 6 level 3 beast tides. The more difficult ones to deal with are these 3 level 2 beast tides. Zhu Zili emphasized the beast tide. Why is it more difficult to deal with? Because 3 days ago, a first level beast tide appeared on Heiazu Island. The number of monsters not only reached 20,000, but also 2 giant and stage beast kings. Among the Taoist friends stationed on Heiazu Island, only the giant and cultivator Lyra Patriarch from Lingbao Mountain sent a request for help to Kizu Island under the pressure of the beast tide. After receiving the message, our Qixing Patriarch took 400 cultivators to help overnight, but has not returned yet. It seems that the beast tide over there is not easy to deal with. Speaking of this, Zhu Zili showed a worried look. After hearing this, many people frowned, and more were surprised. Qixing Patriarch came from Xingzong, and his strength was in the giant and stage. Although he was not very powerful, he was in the middle giant and stage. But after all, he was an elder of Xingzong, and he must have a lot of trump cards in his hands. His magic tools and equipment were far superior to those of cultivators of the same level, and his name in the Star Sea was still very loud. The 2 giant and monks joined forces, and with the help of external forces, the battle lasted for 3 days and it was not over yet. Is the beast tide on Heiazu Island so difficult to fight? I am a small monk at this level, and I don't know the specific situation on Heiazu Island yet. I hope everything goes well. Let's talk about the present. Zhu Zili smiled bitterly, skipped this topic, and began to briefly introduce the origins of the 2 beast tides just now, which attacked one after another on the same day. How about the number of monsters? There are a total of 9,900 monsters. When Chen Xianming and others came to support, they had already eliminated more than 800. As for their team strength, because the elite forces sent out for support have not returned yet. In the southern part of the island, there is still a team fighting against another level 2 beast tide. So, the team they left here now has 300 people. And there is no Purple Mansion monk in charge. There are 89 foundation building monks and 221 chi refining monks. The overall strength of the team is average. Because of this, they were worried that there would be a 4th wave of beast tides, so they immediately sent a call for help to Hunyuan Island to replenish manpower. Speaking of which, These battles were a bit awkward. Their backbone forces left overnight to rush to other places. As a result, due to the shortage of strength, their own island had to temporarily send out a call for help. During this time, there were no giant and cultivators guarding the island, and the combat effectiveness was less than 30% of the peak period. It was really difficult to defend this frontline fortress. If there were one or two more second-level beast tides, Kizu Island would probably fall and be destroyed by monsters. Once the defense line here collapsed, the strength of the second line of defense on Hunyuan Island was even weaker, and many of them did not even have Purple Mansion cultivators. How could they resist the beast tide led by the Purple Mansion monsters? However, this battlefield is so changing rapidly. Go wherever you need support, and this is the case in all major war zones. The mobility of manpower is very high, which is also a very normal thing. After listening to Zhuxiantu's story, everyone suddenly understood. They all had the same doubt. That is, a strategic island on the first front line would be troubled by two level 2 beast tides. Isn't this a joke? No matter how weak the strength is, it shouldn't be that it doesn't even have the Purple Mansion monks. Now that they know the whole story, everyone feels that the war situation is changing rapidly, and secretly decides that the strength must be improved as soon as possible. They can help Kizu Island today. In the future, when Hunyuan Island encounters a strong enemy that is difficult to resolve, it is okay to ask Kizu Island for help. The other party may also help out of gratitude. But when it is transferred to other places and performs other more dangerous tasks, how can it protect itself? You can't always rely on outsiders, right? That's what happened. This time you arrived in time and helped us. You should remember your great merits. I will report it to the sect truthfully. Zili showed gratitude and bowed to Chen Xianming, Qin Xiang and others. His eyes focused on Chen Qingyun, and he admired this young leader. I believe that in the near future, Chen Qingyun will become a rising star on the battlefield and make a great reputation. Deu, you are too kind. You and I are fighting to protect the Star Sea. It is our duty to help you. Chen Xianming said politely. According to the war rules of Xingzhou, it is not specified whether they will be rewarded for military merits after leaving Hunyuan Island without authorization to support other island fortresses. But from Zhuxiantu's tone, it seems that there is a hidden reward system. Originally, a big victory made them feel very happy. Now that they know that there is hope of receiving great merits, they all show joy on their faces. Next, at Zhuxiantu's suggestion, several people simply reviewed the battle, recorded the shortcomings, and tried to correct them. When the review was finished and they were about to set off to return to Hunyuan Island, Chen Xianming thought of something and couldn't help asking, "Friend Zhu, there is another second-level beast tide in the southern part of this island. I wonder how the battle situation there is going. Is there any news?" When this topic was mentioned, Zhu Guangshu and others raised their eyes and showed interest. Hearing this, Zhuxiantu first frowned, then smiled a little embarrassedly. Due to the urgency of the battle, we are also busy clearing the beast tide here, and haven't had time to ask about the current situation over there. At this point, Zhuxiantu suddenly realized and slapped his thigh. "Oh, you reminded me." Zhuxiantu quickly took out the communication jade talisman and quickly contacted the other side. Seeing Zhuxiantu's behavior, Chen Xianming and several foundation building leaders couldn't help but smile bitterly and looked at each other. Zhu Guangshu thought about it and boldly suggested, "Friend Zhu, why don't we go over and take a look?" "I agree." Li Xinyuan immediately raised his hand to express his opinion. "Yes, since we are here, why don't we go over and take a look?" Chen Xianming said with a smile, looking directly into Zhuxiantu's eyes. Qin Xiang and Liu Heqing also nodded immediately, thinking of going over to check it out in person. It's not far to fly from the east to the south of Kizu Island. We have time to send messages back and forth. We are worried about the situation over there. We might as well fly over and find out. If there are still monsters rampaging at that time, we can fight them if we can. These two level 2 monsters have been eliminated, so we don't mind eliminating one more. Since we are here, Why not kill more monsters? Chapter 255 Netherworld Water Spirit. Since we have come to Kizu Island, we might as well do nothing here. After returning to Hanya Island, there will probably be no level 2 beast tide for them to fight. As for the level 3 monsters in the beast tide, Chen Xianming and others will definitely not fight them recklessly. If the beast tide has been cleared and there is no need to fight, it would be the best. Thinking of this, not to mention Chen Qingyun and others, Zhu Zili and others are also eager to go to the south to fight again. Seeing that Chen Xianming and others are eager to move, Zhu Zili thinks the proposal is good, so he decided it. There is no hesitation. The group took the warship and quickly headed towards the south of Kizu Island. It took only about half an hour for them to arrive at the destination, and they sensed the traces of a large number of monsters. In terms of quantity, it has reached more than 5,000. The scouts of the Xingzong discovered their traces at the first time and quickly approached. When they saw Zhu Zili, the man immediately looked happy. "Captain, has the beast tide in the Eastern Sea been pacified?" This person is Zhu Zili's team member, named Li Tong, with a 9th level cultivation level. He was assigned to be a scout and was active around the beasts. He observed and counted the size of the beast tide. At the same time, he paid attention to the dynamics of the surrounding seas to see if there were other beast tides or disasters such as wind. There are more than 3 scouts like him in each front-line fortress. On weekdays, they wander around the islands and conduct all-weather reconnaissance in their respective mission areas. When he saw Zhu Zili and others driving a warship, he guessed from experience that they must be here to support, not just to make a cameo appearance. "Yes, how is the battle situation here? Tell me quickly." With a ready-made scout in front of him, there is no need to go to investigate by himself. It takes mana to expand his spiritual consciousness. How can the information these scouts have as accurate as the information he has just arrived? Asked by Zhu Zili, Li Tong wanted to take the initiative to tell the situation of the battle here. He immediately organized his words and quickly told it again under the listening of Chen Qingyun and others. "You don't know until you hear it." After listening, everyone showed surprise. Because the monsters they saw now were not the group mentioned by Zhu Zili, but a new group. This is the 4th batch of beasts. Just like the previous Eastern Sea area, the Southern Sea area was also attacked by 2 beasts. Fortunately, the scale of this 4th beast tide is not large. It surged in not long ago and reached the 2nd level. The total number is 8,600, which is more than 1,000 more than the previous batch. The leaders are 4 purple mansion monsters. There are 233 foundation building monsters, and the rest are all chi refining monsters. Among them, the 3 purple mansion monsters are being cleared by Nangang Yuang, Lingra Oshan and Yaoang Shan, 2 purple mansion cultivators, and they can't cause any waves. In addition, there are a total of 300 monks who have joined forces and killed more than 2,000 monsters. The remaining 6,000 monsters are temporarily trapped in this sea area under the blockade of the Liangyi Kun formation. The crowd relies on the power of the formation to continuously reduce the number of monsters. According to the battle situation, the blockade will last for half an hour at most, and this group of beasts can be cleared out. It can be said that the difficulty of clearing is not great. Senior Nangang is also here. Knowing that Nangang Yuang is in this team, Li Xinyuan showed admiration, and his eyes could not help looking into the distance, trying to find that figure. "Not bad." Li Tong nodded heavily, with a smile on his face. Who doesn't know this famous Xinghai #1 purple mansion? With such a person fighting here, as long as it is not a level 1 beast tide, what monster can be regarded as an opponent? "Captain, since you're here, do you want to fight these monsters or not?" Although Nangang Yuang was going to take action, this battle was sure to win, but Li Tong still asked. In the beast tide, there is a monster race that is a little difficult to deal with. If you want to take action, you have to be careful. There is a type of monster that needs attention, and Li Tong immediately mentioned it. That is a group of more difficult monsters, called Netherwater Soul, with a number of more than 500. When hearing about Netherwater Soul, not to mention Zhu Zili, even Chen Xianming and others frowned, feeling that it was difficult to deal with. Nether Water Soul. This is a first-level monster. Among many monsters, its physical defense is not strong, and it can even be said to be the bottom. To what extent is its defense weak? A child holding a sword can kill it. But the opponent can be a monster, which makes Li Tong mention it, so it is powerful. The attack of Nether Water Soul is very strange. It is not a physical attack, but only targets the soul. Under such soul attack, no matter how powerful the magic weapon of the cultivator is, as long as it cannot defend the soul, it will become the food of the Nether Water Spirit. Even if it is a foundation-building cultivator, it is easy to be injured by the soul attack of the Nether Water Spirit, and there will be a short trance, which is enough to be fatal on the battlefield. In addition, this group of monsters is organized, and they will not rush to the island in a reckless manner. They will focus on protecting the group of Nether Water Spirits during the battle. So if you want to eliminate them, you have to kill the other monsters around them first. Knowing the existence of the Nether Water Spirit, or a group gathered here, several people looked solemn and fearful. Then Li Xinyuan said directly, "How come there is such a thing as the Netherworld Water Soul? I am really poor. I only buy attack and defense magic tools. I don't have any magic tools that can work on the soul. I am not very sure about dealing with the Netherworld Water Soul. How about you guys? Do you have any way to deal with it?" The best way to deal with the Netherworld Water Soul is to equip the soul-related magic tools to directly protect the soul. In addition, the cultivator himself practices the soul-related skills to improve the strength of his own soul. However, except for professional cultivators such as alchemists and weapon refiners, most low-level cultivators will not pay attention to the cultivation and protection of the soul. They are often more inclined to purchase 5-element skills, powerful flying swords, etc., to improve their own strength. Only after reaching the Purple Mansion period will everyone have more thoughts and energy and begin to focus on the cultivation of the soul. Of course, nothing is absolute. Some big families in the Star Sea, out of foresight, lay the foundation for their children in advance and will tell them to practice the soul skills as soon as possible. But very few. As strong as the Xingzong, due to fierce competition, the cultivators in the Qi refining and foundation building stages rarely get involved in soul skills. This soul weapon is not common in the market, and the price is more expensive than the same level of magic weapons. It is rare to encounter opponents who can perform soul attacks. This also leads to the fact that at least in Kezu Island, there are very few cultivators who set up defenses for the soul. Everyone spends money on the blade, focusing on high attack output and physical defense. Chapter 256 Tower Defense. Monster Hunting Cannon. The war is just around the corner. There is no exchange of soul-related resources and magic tools on the island. It takes time to find and purchase them temporarily. There is no time to do this. So, the current response method is to just attack directly. When fighting, try to stay away from the group of Nether Water Souls and kill other monsters. If the distance is too close, then you can only wish for the best. There is no need to fight hard. Seeing Li Xinyuan's bitter smile, Yu Heking's face also showed the same expression, and he shook his head repeatedly and said, "Like you, I don't have any magic tools related to the soul." As he said that, he had some intention of retreating, and glanced at Chen Xianming and others who were building their foundation, and said, "How about we not get involved in this battle? This is a bit embarrassing." He came to support with great interest, but it turned out that there was a Nether Water Soul among this group of monsters. At this time, if he didn't get any merit in the battle, and his soul was swallowed by the opponent, it would be a loss. Where can I find a soul-related magic weapon in this short time? If we really have to fight, the safest way is to stay away as far as possible. While hiding, we should clean up other monsters, but we must not fight them in close combat. Whoever dares to face them head-on, that thing will launch a soul-sucking attack and hit the soul directly, even if you are equipped with a spiritual light shield and magic weapons such as armor. It will be useless. The precise attack on the soul is so domineering. The effects and uniqueness of various innate attacks in the monster race are so vividly displayed. Hey, fellow Taoists from Lingbao Mountain, do you have soul-related magic weapons? After a moment of silence, Li Zinyuan looked at Qingyang and others. Lingbao Mountain is famous for its weapon refining, and there are many weapon refiners in the sect. Just from this period of time. After interacting with Qingyang and other Lingbao Mountain monks, you can see that they are equipped with multiple magic weapons, and they often change methods to activate different magic weapons to fight against the enemy. For Tanlzi, everyone in the foundation building stage has several, and some Qi refining stage disciples also have them. Perhaps, the magic weapons they are equipped with are diverse, and there may be soul-related magic weapons. As soon as Li Zinyuan finished speaking, several Lingbao Mountain masters looked at each other, showing bitterness, and shook their heads slightly. No. The muscles on Qingyang's face twitched a few times, and he sighed heavily. Obviously, even the forces with the most magic weapons on the scene, the Lingbao Mountain monks, did not have soul-related magic weapons in their hands. Seeing this situation, Li Zinyuan could only smile bitterly, without any intention of mocking or complaining. This is also the situation caused by the terrain. In fact, in this area of the Star Sea, a cultivator may fight thousands of times and may not encounter a soul attack threat. The chance of encountering it is very small. This is similar to the probability of being struck by lightning when walking on the street. Since the chance is so small, low-level cultivators make the best use of resources and use spiritual stones to purchase resources carefully. Then they will definitely ignore this aspect of protection. It is expected that the Qi refining and foundation building cultivators in Lingbao Mountain do not have soul magic tools. This is also the reason why Li Tan kindly reminded everyone not to rush in and be more careful about the netherworld water spirit. Just when everyone felt helpless and difficult, Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun looked at each other and remembered the soul-nourishing jade they were equipped with. This soul magic tool, other people don't have it, but they do. Not only that, both of them have practiced the Great Sun Visualization Sutra, and the soul strength far exceeds that of cultivators of the same price. Including the Chen family, several people have been practicing the Great Sun Visualization Sutra, and their spirits have improved to some extent. Therefore, in terms of hidden strength, the Chen family has an advantage. At the same time, Chen Xianming has secretly transmitted the sound and exchanged a few words with Chen Qingyun, Chen Daoran and others. When he learned that Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun had the soul-nourishing jade, Chen Xianming was secretly happy. After confirming that the two were sure to deal with those netherworld water souls, he finally spoke. No need to delay any longer. The defense of these netherworld water souls is weak and the shortcomings are obvious. If everyone works hard, it is not impossible to win the battle. My Chen family has some trump cards in their hands, which may play a role at a critical moment. Haha, fellow Taoist Chen has this confidence. Very good, very good. Li Zinyuan immediately expressed his opinion after hearing this. Hearing Chen Xianming's words, Qingyang and several other main bases nodded in agreement. Originally, they had seen the strength of Chen Xianming and Chen Qingyun for more than 2 months. Recalling the mighty move that Chen Qingyun showed when he killed the Dupsi baby carp alone, what else is there to worry about? Now, when I heard that the Chen family had a trumpet, I felt more at ease. They are not stupid. They know the tricky aspects of the netherwater soul and are confident to fight against it. They must have something to rely on. As for what the trump card is, maybe we will see it later. The matter was decided, and everyone stopped hesitating and decided to take action. Chen Xianming focused on communicating with Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun, and reminded them to be more careful when they took action. With the existence of this soul-nourishing jade, he naturally would not have a brain attack and expose it. So, he used the trump card to describe it instead. Anyway, according to Chen Qingyun, this thing will not show its appearance when it is activated. Whether it was actually being used or not, only Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun knew it. Everyone quickly determined the battle situation and drove the warships close to the group of monsters. At this time, it can be seen that on the southern coastline of Kizu Island, rows of turrets are preparing to attack. Those turrets are large array devices provided by Lingbao Mountain. 3 turrets form a group, driven by spirit stones, which can burst out the strength of the foundation building period and easily kill the second level monsters. This is the monster hunting cannon, which will be equipped on every front-line fortress. And there will be Lingbao mountain monks who drive it specifically, and it can burst out amazing power when attacking at close range. The shortcoming is that it cannot attack at a long distance. Even so, after the monster hunting cannon continued to accumulate strength and launched an attack, the shells fired were as dazzling as the sun. In the roar, many monsters that impacted the coast were blasted into powder. After such a fight, neither the demon pill nor the remains of the demon beast were left, which was a pity. Fortunately, Xingzong has special regulations for the specific merits of killing opponents with demon hunting cannons. These are not what Chen Qingyun and others need to care about. Knowing that Chen Xianming's team had joined, a total of more than 500 people came to reinforce. The cultivators stationed here suddenly felt a lot less pressure. At this time, above the sea, in the direction of a Purple Mansion demon beast, a battle of Purple Mansion period broke out. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 257 Nangong Yuang, 9 Fire Dragon. Above the beast tide, a middle-aged man in a luxurious robe with a surging momentum stood in the air, his robe fluttering. In front of him was a fiery red ring, emitting a blazing light, like a scorching sun across the sky. Accompanied by a few dragon roars, 9 fire dragons roared out from the fiery red ring, and in an instant, the sky and the earth changed color. 9 fire dragons. Among the 3 purple mansions, Nangong Yuang showed his signature moves. Chen Xianming and others were attracted by the dragon roars. Following the sound, they saw 9 fire dragons flying in the air, lifelike, and confronting the Purple Mansion monster head-on. Rumble. There was a big collision between heaven and earth, and a roaring sound erupted. The powerful residual power swept over, shattering the surrounding monsters and blowing them away, and a large wave rolled up, like a storm sweeping. When the shockwave of the explosion dissipated, the Purple Mansion monster had disappeared. It was blasted into ashes, leaving only a demon pill flying into the man's hand. "It's Senior Nangong." The voice of admiration sounded, and Li Tong beside him looked into the distance, watching Nangong Yuang kill the Purple Mansion monster, and a deep respect emerged in his heart. Chen Qingyun heard the words and couldn't help but follow his gaze. He saw that the man controlled the flame ring and flew in another direction to fight the second Purple Mansion monster. Senior Nangong. Who else could Li Tong call him like this except that person? Naturally, it was Nangong Yuang. The first time he saw Nangong Yuang take action and kill the Purple Mansion monster with one move, Chen Qingyun was also a little shocked. Compared with Nangong Ming, this person's strength has exceeded his understanding of ordinary Purple Mansion cultivators. Just that move of 9 fire dragon, let alone facing it head-on, even if he wanted to resist the residual power, he thought he had no strength to resist it. However, now he just felt shocked, and Chen Qingyun's mentality was still very balanced. He was much younger than Nangong Yuang, with a difference of several dozen years, so they could not be compared. In terms of talent and potential, he was not necessarily inferior. Chen Qingyun claimed that his future achievements would not be lower than Nangong Yuang. Chen Qingyun was right to think so, and he did have the capital to be confident. And Zhu Guangshu, Qin Xiang and others around him were once somewhat in awe of Nangong Yuang's reputation. Now, seeing the other party's mighty power with his own eyes, with such a tyrannical strength, he couldn't help but feel a little lonely and frustrated, and his heart was extremely touched. They were of similar age, but the gap was so different, it was absolutely impossible to say that there was no envy. How could it be pleasant to be left far behind by the powerful people of the same generation, and only be able to look up to them? All one could do was sigh and lament. Everyone had different expressions. Zhu Zili let everyone remain silent for a while, and then took the initiative to gather several leaders to discuss and decide on the strategy. In terms of defense, there are 35 monster hunting cannons as the island's defense line, which is the last line of defense. While guarding the island, they will often launch attacks to kill the second-level monsters on the neighboring islands. As for the first-level monsters, they are not within the attack range of the monster hunting cannons. Lingbao Mountain will not do such a thing as killing a chicken with a butcher knife. In terms of manpower, there are a total of 299 foundation-building monks, who must be divided into 4 forces to attack the monster group from 4 directions. Combined with the blockade of the formation, the main goal is to catch a turtle in a jar. This battle is to suppress the fight. After dividing the teams, Chen Xianming and others took out their magic weapons and took action, trying to stay away from the netherworld water spirit and kill other monsters. Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun joined forces and attacked the group of netherwater souls. Netherwater souls, this is a kind of monster similar to mermaids. However, their 5 fingers are in the shape of tentacles, their bodies are snow white, they have octopus-like heads, and their lower bodies are fish tails. After they launch an attack, they will release a sound wave-like attack from their mouths. When they hit the cultivators, they can not only paralyze the soul, but also absorb the soul and swallow it into their mouths. It is indeed a bit tricky to fight. Such attacks cannot be defended by ordinary magic weapons. The attack coverage of these netherwater souls is not large. However, under the command of the Netherwater Soul King, they dispersed and launched a joint attack at this time, like a big net covering. What's more outrageous is that they can use this soul-absorbing power freely, and only play the effect on human cultivators. Even if the surrounding monsters are covered by the attack, they will not be affected at all and can still jump around. Fortunately, under the protection of the soul-raising jade. Facing the soul attack of such creatures, the might of the soul-nurturing jade firmly protected the souls of Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun. The attack methods that the netherwater soul was proud of were like mice seeing a cat in front of Chen Qingyun and the others, and they were completely ineffective. Their own defense was very weak, and their physical fighting ability was no different from that of wild beasts. Chen Qingyun could kill several of them with a casual blow, not to mention that Chen Qingyun was involved. The 5 elements puppet, which did not have a soul, was their nemesis. The netherwater soul lost its combat advantage, and its morale quickly dropped to the freezing point. As Chen Qingyun attacked with the demon refining tower and killed the netherwater soul king, they began to disperse. Not long after, when the 4 purple mansion monsters were killed, a Lingbao Mountain purple mansion came to help and killed the netherwater soul. The result of this battle was soon revealed. No matter what, they won. This was an overwhelming advantage. Nangang Yuang and his 3 purple mansions gathered together and met the support team of Zhuxiantu and Chen Xianming. There is no need to introduce Nangang Yuang, everyone knows him. The other 2 purple mansions are Baiyan from Lingbao Mountain, who is in the middle stage of purple mansion cultivation. The second one is Guangling from Yaoang Mountain, who is in the late stage of purple mansion cultivation. Baiyan said a few polite words to express her gratitude to Chen Xianming for his willingness to come to support and help resolve the crisis in the Eastern Sea area. Nangang Yuang and Zhao Guangling did not speak, but sat cross-legged on the ground to recover their mana. Compared with the 3 purple mansions, Zhuxiantu seemed much more enthusiastic and took the initiative to ask them to count the battlefield and calculate the gains this time. In the 2 battles, there were a total of 25,600 monsters, and the total military merits were 258,530. Because they acted at different times and their strengths were high and low, the military merits they obtained were different. Chen Xianming and others roughly calculated that the Chen family, Yu family, Zhu family, and a group of independent cultivators had experienced these 2 battles, and the total merits they obtained were about 45,000. Among the 4 parties, the Chen family obtained the most merits. After all, Chen Qingyun was present, mainly killing second-level monsters, and the merits he obtained alone were close to 10,000. Chen Xianming obtained about 2,000. The rest of Chen Daoren and others, added up, also nearly 5,000. Adding up these gains, first of all, it is stable to exchange for a foundation building pill, and you can also add some other resources. Many things that are difficult to buy or even impossible to buy on the market can be exchanged for merits. This is very pleasing. Chapter 258 Mission completed. Let N number 039 S all gather our military merits. Seeing the Chen family's gains, Zhu Zili and his companions were not too surprised. Chen Qingyun killed the second lethal monster just like killing a chicken, and his strength convinced everyone. When he is promoted to the Purple Mansion stage, he will be able to obtain more military merits. There is no need to be jealous, just work hard on your own cultivation. The other three parties, the Yu family ranked second, the Zhu family ranked third, and Qingguang and other independent cultivators ranked last. There is no way, in terms of skills and magic tools, independent cultivators cannot compare with family cultivators. Not to mention equipping multiple magic tools, it is good to have a handy magic tool. Even so, the benefits brought by these independent cultivators participating in this war are not bad, and they must earn more than stationing on Hongya Island. As for Zhu Zili, I won't say much. Because of their numerical advantage, there are also Purple Mansion cultivators participating, and there are more than 200 foundation building cultivators. The combat effectiveness is strong, and they must have taken the lion's share. It is extremely rare on the front line for 4 second-level beast tides to attack. After roughly counting the harvest, Chen Xianmin and his team showed joy on their faces. As for the more than a dozen casualties, this was inevitable. Not long after cleaning up the battlefield, they said goodbye and left, and there was still a garrison mission to perform. After returning to Hongya Island, Zhu family, Yu family, Qingguang and other casual cultivators all began to register their war merits in the War Merit Square. Chen Xianming, Chen Qingyun and others first counted themselves and found that the accumulated war merits in their hands exceeded 700 points. Chen Xianming reached more than 2,000 points. After a discussion, several people decided to exchange a foundation building pill for the mission reward after completing the garrison mission. In the following days, the garrison mission was extremely easy. It seemed that because the beast tide lingering on Kizu Island was cleared at one time, there was no beast tide attack until a few days before the end of the mission. Then, a new team came to take over the garrison on Hongya Island. After completing the replacement of the new team, the Chen family team returned to Hunyuan Island and each received 500 mission rewards. According to the conscription regulations, the next month is a rest period. The war has not yet reached the point of doomsday, so it is not necessary to fight continuously without rest. At this time, whether it is exchanging resources, practicing in seclusion, or lying down to repair, it is the best time. Taking advantage of this period of free time, Chen Xianmin summoned several clansmen to discuss the next decision. They are ready to register their war merits and exchange for foundation building pills. Compared with the second lines of defense on Hongya Island and Hunyuan Island, Jianyuan Island not only has a war merit square, but also has more complete and richer resources in the war merit square. Foundation building pills and Purple Mansion crystals are here. However, the quantity of these two resources is limited, so it is better to exchange some of them first. It is most reassuring to put them in your pocket. Let's exchange for the foundation building pill first. After careful discussion, Chen Dailin suggested, we can't keep accumulating military merits and be a miser. It is necessary to spend some of it. Yes, this money has to be spent, it can't be saved. I agree to exchange for the foundation building pill. Chen Daihai also spoke up and explained in detail. Purple Mansion crystals are not as scarce as foundation building pills. In the past 10 years, there have been a few Purple Mansion crystals circulating every 6 months on Yishi Island. Although, there is also competition for those Purple Mansion crystals, as long as you add more spirit stones, it is not difficult to obtain them. Not bad. Chen Daoran thought carefully and nodded. At present, even if we want to exchange for Purple Mansion crystals, the total military merits are less than 30,000. This is a difference of more than 70,000, which cannot be filled with spirit stones. Well, let's collect the military merits first and exchange for the foundation building pill. Chen Daihai took the lead. I have 1,150 points of war merit here. I can take them all out first. We should exchange them for the foundation building pill first, and then work hard to exchange them for the Purple Mansion crystal later. I have 990 war merits here, a little less. I'll take them all out, just don't be disgusted. Chen Qingyun touched his head and smiled embarrassedly. I only have 810. Several clan members talked to each other and took the initiative to collect war merits. Seeing this, everyone was devoted to the family. Chen Xianming felt warm in his heart and smiled on his face. That's fine. When you return to the family, I will convert your military merits into spirit stones and return them to you one by one. Now, for the foundation building pill, we can only ask everyone to collect them together. Hey, before the expedition, the family gave each of us 2,000 merits. What does my little military merit count for? After we rest for a month, we still have tasks to perform. Are we still worried about not having monsters and places to get military merits? Chen Dehai remembered the kindness of the family and didn't care about it at all. He continued, my cultivation will not improve in the future, and I don't have much demand for resources. The family doesn't have to owe me anything, but Daoran, Qingfeng and others, this really can't be owed. Of course, the family won't owe you this share, and you must pay it back in the future. Chen Xianming showed a serious look and took out the military merits to make up the number. The few people pieced together and collected a total of 9,990 military merits. For the last 10 points, Chen Xianming looked at Chen Qingyun with a smile. Qingyun, you have a high level of cultivation and require a large amount of resources. You will be the one to provide the last 10 points of combat merit. Seeing that the clan members worked together and wanted to exchange for the foundation building pills first to be steady, Chen Qingyun did not think there was anything wrong. According to his cultivation progress, he could rely on killing monsters and devouring monsters to open up the Purple Mansion. This Purple Mansion crystal was mainly exchanged for the old clan leader. In the subsequent battles, it would be difficult to collect 100,000 military merits without more than a dozen large-scale battles. Everyone knew their own limitations and would not aim too high for the time being. Okay, let's exchange for some other resources. Chen Qingyun said. Hearing Chen Qingyun's words, Chen Xianming and others were confused and didn't know what other treasures he wanted to exchange. But at this moment, they couldn't wait to exchange for the foundation building pills first. So they didn't ask much and went to the military merit workshop together. 2. Exchange for foundation building pills. If you come later, you will have to wait until next month to get them. After registering the 9 people's battle merits, the Xingzong cultivator in the battle merit hall looked at Chen Qingyun with a smile. The battle merits accumulated by Chen Qingyun reached 13,490. Far exceeding the total battle merits of other Chen family cultivators. He was a little surprised that such a young cultivator had so many demon pills in his hands, which was rare. There are really hidden dragons and crouching tigers among the cultivators who were recruited. A few days ago, I met a Lingbao Mountain disciple named Sun Tai, who was crazy about hunting demons. The number of demon pills he obtained recently was almost catching up with the young man in front of him. This one is even more ruthless. These cultivators are so young, why are they more crazy than each other when killing demon beasts? Is it because I am old, or are they too arrogant? Chapter 259, Skyfire Meteor Formation, Wind Spirit Wings. Is the foundation building pill out of stock so soon? When he heard that he would not be able to see any foundation building pills if he came later, Chen Qingyun muttered subconsciously. Not bad. The Xingzong cultivator withdrew his thoughts and smiled slightly. There are many families who have exchanged foundation building pills recently, and they are all like you. Several clansmen have gathered 10,000 war merits to exchange. Wait a moment, I will go get one. As soon as he finished speaking, he went to the back workshop. Seeing that resources such as foundation building pills can indeed be exchanged by gathering war merits, as Li Yushu said, several people were secretly happy. In the expectant waiting, after a while, the Xingzong foundation building came back. Seeing the jade box containing the foundation building pill appear and fall on the table, Chen Xianming happily walked forward to check. After a while, After confirming that the foundation building pill was correct, the voice of the Xingzong foundation building sounded. Is this foundation building pill okay? Chen Dalan took the foundation building pill and looked at it for a few times. As an alchemist, he could see that the quality of this pill was very good. It was obviously made in the last 2 or 3 months. He smiled and nodded and said, "Excellent." Several people stepped forward one by one and collected 10,000 points of merit to exchange for this foundation building pill. Now, except for Chen Qingyun, Chen Xianming and the other 8 people had no merit points left. It can be said that they were really poor. Even the cheapest detoxification pill, which cost 5 spirit stones per bottle, could not be exchanged. However, it was enough to get this foundation building pill. After working hard for more than 3 months, it was not a loss. They were about to leave happily with the foundation building pill, but Chen Qingyun stopped them. Exchange for some more things. Hearing that Chen Qingyun still had the idea of exchanging resources, Chen Xianming paused. Before asking him what he wanted to exchange, he only heard him say, "Formation and magic weapon, I want to see it." "Okay." The Xingzong Foundation building cultivator smiled and nodded, asking what specific needs there were for these 2 things. There are many resources stored here, and they are dazzling. After accurately expressing the needs, you can quickly find the treasures you want. When Chen Qingyun was supporting Kizu Island, he had already discovered that his family lacked this kind of equipment. Other family cultivators, such as the Zhu family, have teamed up with Xingzong and Lingbao mountain cultivators to perform formations to kill monsters. You can increase attack output and defense with limited strength and the advantage of numbers. Doing so can often improve the efficiency of killing monsters and increase safety. It's not like a few clansmen who seem to be fighting in one area. If the monster attacks become a little dense, the formation will be messed up. Let's say Chen Qingyun, the 7th level of Qi refining, can kill 1st level monsters and has the ability to protect himself. But if you are suddenly attacked by a 2nd level monster, you can avoid it if you can. If you can't avoid it, then you're really screwed. This kind of thing really happened. When fighting in the eastern waters of Kizu Island, Chen Qingyun was attacked by a 2nd level monster, the ice-armored crab. At the critical moment, he still took action to kill the crab. If he hadn't taken action in time, this sister would have died. It was precisely because he realized the combat defects of the family cultivators that Chen Qingyun decided to exchange a set of formations first and must do it. Among the many formations, Chen Qingyun was dazzled and finally locked on the Sky Fire Meteor formation. This is a set of 2nd level top grade formations, composed of 9 formation light beats. The advantage is that as long as there is a foundation building cultivator leading and acting as a mana output role, these formation beats can be combined and arranged at will. At most 9 people can arrange it, and at least 6 people can arrange it. When there are few people, as long as the cultivation level is above the 5th level of Qi refining, 1 person can activate 2 formation beads at the same time. The power that this formation can unleash can kill a 2nd level upper grade monster, which is the strength of the late stage of the foundation building period. The formation is good and flexible, and it belongs to a high attack output formation, but its shortcomings are also obvious. One is that it consumes too much mana. The other is that it is expensive, requiring 5,000 war merits. The mana consumption problem is easy to solve, and it can be restored by taking pills. Chen Qingyun's idea is bolder. Drinking Yuqiang spirit liquid to restore. A drop of Yuqiang spirit liquid can restore the mana of the purple mansion cultivator to its peak state in an instant. For the foundation building period and Qi refining cultivators, half a drop may be enough. Chen Qingyun has about 500 drops of Yuqiang spirit liquid. Arrogant, the tribesmen can just drink this thing to restore their mana. As for the 5,000 war merits, keeping it unused is different from exchanging it for good treasures. The principle of sharpening the tools before doing a good job is still understood. This battle is accompanied by great opportunities and risks. Whether it is to resist risks or seize opportunities, strong strength is indispensable. It is the best choice to use good steel on the blade. With the Skyfire Meteor formation, you can not only fight as a team, enhance defense, and resist many risks on the battlefield. It is also a good helper to kill enemies and quickly improve the way to obtain military merits. Seeing Chen Qingyun wave his hand and exchange the Skyfire Meteor formation without blinking, Chen Qingyun and others were stunned and felt frightened. Oh my goodness. This is 5,000 military merits, enough for the 8 of them to fight several beast tides. Although this thing is good, they soon understood Chen Qingyun's idea and knew what kind of help this formation can bring, but it is expensive. It's a bit reluctant. 5,000. Half a foundation building pill is spent like this. Chen Qingyun swallowed his saliva and started to grumble. Seeing that he looked like a petty person, Chen Xianming couldn't help but pat him on the shoulder. It's worth it. Qingyun is still thoughtful. After exchanging the formation, Chen Qingyun still had 8,480 battle merits left, and he found a flying magic weapon called Wind Spirit Wing. After several battles, he found that the Sky Escape boat had some shortcomings. That is, it is easy to block the line of sight below, and it is also a magic weapon suitable for travel. Fighting on a flying boat always feels a bit awkward. Wing-type magic weapons are much easier to use. The Wind Spirit Wing is a second-level lower-grade magic weapon. It is a pair of wings in the form of a green turquoise color. The exchange price is 2,020 war merits. From the name, this magic weapon is inseparable from the wind attribute. After refining, it will be integrated into the back, and a pair of virtual wings will be unfolded when it is used. Although it is a second-level lower grade, when it is fully unfolded, the speed can match the second-level middle-grade flying magic weapon. The reason why Chen Qingyun did not choose a higher grade, such as a second-level top-grade flying sword, is actually very simple. It's too expensive. Other foundation-building cultivators may grit their teeth and exchange for a second-level upper-grade or top-grade magic weapon. Chen Qingyun doesn't need to do this. He has a talent for magic weapon enhancement. Chapter 260 Purple Palace Level Divine Thought, Fusion of Magical Treasures. Strengthen talents through magical weapons. Use low-level magical weapons to decompose them, and then strengthen the Wind Spirit Wings to the second level best. This obviously saves money. More economical. After redeeming the Wind Spirit Wings, Chen Qingyun was satisfied. Most of his military exploits were spent in a blink of an eye, leaving only 6,460. Fortunately, these are all worth it. In the subsequent battles, both the Sky-Fire Meteor formation and the Wind Spirit Wings can bring powerful effects against the enemy. The battle effort spent can be repaid very quickly. After leaving the War Kung Fu workshop, in the next few days, Chen Qingyun and others will have a thorough grasp of the Skyfire Meteor formation. Mainly Chen Dohai, Chen Daoran and Chen Dalin took turns to mobilize, while Chen Qingyun and others assisted. A few people caught a few monster beasts in the sea and tried it, and the effect was pretty good. After setting up the formation, the most basic dozens of Skyfire meteors were thrown down, and several monster beasts were quickly killed, without even the ability to resist. In order to quickly restore mana, Chen Qingyun gave each of them 10 drops of the Jade Qiyang spiritual liquid. With the blessing of the formation and the supply of spiritual fluid, the next step is to take a good rest, wait for the release of new tasks, and then boost morale to kill the monsters. After that, Chen Qingyun began to retreat, refining the demon elixir while practicing the Tangsu divine refining technique. It is worth mentioning. When the cultivation level reaches the peak of the foundation building period, the cultivation of the Great Sun Meditation Sutra will gradually be perfected, and the cultivation method will reach the peak state. The soul can no longer be tempered. The practice of Great Sun Meditation Sutra has been successfully completed. This also means that Chen Qingyun currently lacks 1 in terms of divine soul skills. However, there is no rush to purchase new exercises. When the Z Mansion is opened, one's soul will be greatly improved, and then one can just practice higher level techniques. Daily practice of Tangsu divine refining technique has refined a large amount of 5 elements essence. On this day, Chen Qingyun's spiritual consciousness improved again. The power of divine thoughts expanded like the sun, breaking through the shackles and reaching the Xifu stage level. The progress of this practice has reached the middle level in one fell swoop. The feedback of the skills brought by the spiritual thoughts also strengthened Chen Qingyun's soul again, reaching the level of quasi-Zaifu Mansion. Feeling the obvious improvement of his spiritual consciousness and being able to control more and stronger magic weapons, Chen Qingyun opened his eyes, and a hint of joy flashed in his eyes. I finally broke through with Zaifuki's spiritual thoughts. Then, I can use the magic weapon now? Just when Chen Qingyun looked happy, the system's voice suddenly sounded in his mind. Ding! It has been detected that your spiritual consciousness has been greatly enhanced and has reached the requirements of the royal magic weapon. The fusion function is now activated. Fusion function. Chen Qingyun murmured to himself, his eyes gleaming. Decompose, strengthen, fuse. Of these three talent functions, the first two are already used very well. Only the third fusion has been unavailable before. Now it's finally ready to use. Only those who have reached the Zaifu stage can use the fusion function. Does that mean I can fuse a new magic weapon, a magic weapon level magic weapon? After thinking about it, Chen Qingyun tried fusion to see how the fusion worked. What fusion conditions are required? As soon as my mind moved, the system gave an accurate response. Ding! A warm reminder. You can choose 3 second-level magic weapons and spend 100 strengthening points to fuse them into one magic weapon. Please select fusion material. Strengthening points, 2353. Looking at the remaining strengthening points, Chen Qingyun decided to give the fusion function a try. Except for a few of the magic weapons on his body, such as the Blessed Land Pearl, which cannot be upgraded, the rest have reached the second grade level. 3 pieces. After screening, a conclusion was quickly reached. Integrating the Red Dragon Flag, the Golden Spirit Mother Blade, and the Red Lotus Fairy Sword. 3 magic weapons were taken out and placed side by side. After the order was given, 100 strengthening points were deducted. I saw the 3 magic weapons each transforming into a hazy brilliance, floating in the air like a vortex, and slowly condensing into a larger vortex of brilliance. When the light dissipated, a scroll-like object appeared in front of him, emitting power beyond the magic weapon. This is the new magical weapon that was fused. No, to be precise, this is a magic weapon, a higher level treasure than a magic weapon. Ding! The fusion is successful, and the new magic weapon 10,000 Swords picture is born. When the system beeped, Chen Qingyun's eyes fell firmly on the magic weapon and he reached out to take it. Waves of extraordinary aura are transmitted through it, and spiritual thoughts are injected into it. You can clearly feel the strength of its aura, which far exceeds the second-level magic weapon. Chen Qingyun's eyes flashed with light, and he unfolded the scroll. Wow! The moment it unfolded, bursts of fierce and rioting sword energy spread out, like thunderclouds brewing in a storm. As long as Chen Qingyun made a thought, it would pour out the next moment. Chen Qingyun only felt the immeasurable sword energy contained in the picture. Looking closely, you can see countless divine swords appearing in the picture, sometimes converging, sometimes scattering, sometimes wandering, accompanied by a red dragon soul flying among them. After looking at it for a moment, he had a more intuitive understanding of this magic weapon. Coupled with the introduction of the system, it suddenly dawned on me. 10,000 Swords, a low-grade offensive magic weapon. This magic weapon is famous for its attack. After unfolding the scroll, it can release 100,000 flying swords to attack the enemy. Under the mighty sword power, it can break all the magic weapons and defensive moves of the same level and below, which is very powerful and domineering. After activating the 10,000 Swords map, what is the specific power? According to Chen Qingyun's calculation, it is equivalent to raising his hand to display the power of the Starlight Phantom Sword formation 100 times. Facing such an overwhelming sword power that is enough to raise a mountain and a river to the ground, an ordinary purple mansion cultivator will be skinned alive if he does not die. This is an extremely powerful killing treasure. According to the system settings, this magic weapon is named by default after it is born, and you don't have to think about it. If you want to rename the magic weapon, you just need to think about it. 10,000 Swords map, this name is just right. Chen Qingyun smiled and played with the 10,000 Swords map for a while. This thing can definitely be used as a trump card, and at the critical moment, it can defeat the enemy with one move and strangle the enemy to death without leaving any residue. It is worth mentioning that, as Chen Qingyun saw in the picture, the soul of the red dragon in the red dragon flag did not disappear even after fusion. When the Wanjiantu launched an attack, the red dragon soul would automatically fly out and surround the body, playing the role of automatically fighting the enemy. One magic weapon is equivalent to having two uses, which is not bad. And the lower grade magic weapon, according to the current strength of the divine consciousness, can just control one. After all, the current cultivation is still in the foundation building stage. Being able to rely on the divine consciousness alone to activate a magic weapon is already an unprecedented achievement, which is very remarkable. If it is strengthened again, I am afraid that it will not be able to be controlled. Then it cannot be strengthened easily. It is necessary to continue to practice and strengthen the divine consciousness. However, this does not mean that he can only fuse one magic weapon. Chapter 261 New Mission, Evil Shark. Now he can continue to fuse and get a few more magic weapons. When the battle comes, he can mobilize all his divine thoughts and concentrate on controlling a magic weapon to fight the enemy. After counting the many magic weapons on his body, Chen Qingyun finally took out the 5 elements, 6 combinations and 7 stars. These 3 puppets all meet the conditions for fusion, and they can definitely fuse into new magic weapons. Can a purple mansion puppet be born? With strong expectations in his heart, Chen Qingyun immediately tried to fuse. As his mind moved, the 3 puppets all emitted light, just like when he fused the 10,000 swords picture just now. Not long after, a humanoid puppet stood in front of Chen Qingyun, and the image was even taller and more powerful, and lifelike. Jiuyu, the early stage of the Purple Mansion, a low-grade puppet magic weapon. The introduction of the system is still very simple. The words of the early stage of the Purple Mansion, named Jiuyu, made Chen Qingyun couldn't help but smile. He could not hold back and began to control Jiuyu to try out the specific power of the puppet. Soon, he was pleasantly surprised to find that Jiuyu not only reached the Purple Mansion stage in terms of strength. The range of activities directly reached 100,000 meters. The maximum control range of the 5 elements and 6 combinations of the peak foundation building puppets was 40,000 meters. The maximum control range of 100,000 meters meant that Chen Qingyun could launch long-range attacks from tens of thousands of meters away. Whether it was hiding his body and protecting himself or setting up an ambush in advance, the effects that these could bring would undoubtedly become his most powerful killer. Now, the 10,000 swords map plus the Jiuyu puppet, any one of which was an unshakable and terrifying existence for the foundation building cultivators. In the subsequent battles, even if it was against a 3rd-level monster, Chen Qingyun had the confidence to kill it in one battle. Very good. This strength has risen a lot. As for the 3rd item, or even the fusion of more magic weapons, there is no need to rush at this time. Magical weapons are good, but once they are activated on the battlefield, they will be too ostentatious. The 10,000 swords map focuses on attack. Jiuyu can attack and defend, and has a wide range of practicality. These 2 are enough for Chen Qingyun at present. Later, if you find that there is a lack of magic weapons in some aspects, you can fuse them. It will cost 100 strengthening points to fuse 3 2nd-level top-grade magic tools into one, so you have to think carefully about which ones to fuse. After trying to fuse, as for strengthening the magic tools to the level of magic weapons, Chen Qingyun tried it. He took out the soul-nourishing jade. I saw that the strengthening points were deducted by 504 points. And the soul-nourishing jade was promoted to a lower-grade magic weapon. 504 strengthening points are equivalent to consuming 3 2nd-level top-grade magic tools. This is the same as strengthening a 1st-level top-grade magic tool to a 2nd-level lower grade, which requires consuming 3 1st-level top-grade magic tools. Both increase by 3 times, from 7 to 21 strengthening points. A first-class magic weapon can get 7 enhancement points after decomposition. Then from enhancement to magic weapon, it is equivalent to the enhancement points of a second-class magic weapon. 168 points increased 3 times to 504. And if you fuse magic weapons, you only need to consume 2 pieces, plus 100 fusion consumption, which is 436 points. Fusing magic weapons into magic weapons can save 68 points compared to unilaterally strengthening to magic weapons. After calculating the enhancement points consumed by the 2 methods of fusion and enhancement, Chen Qingyun had a bottom line in his mind. Obviously, fusion is the most cost-effective, and there is a feeling of opening a blind box. After putting away the 10,000 Swords map and Jiuyu with satisfaction, Chen Qingyun took out the Wind Spirit Wings, and strengthened it with 294 points, continuously strengthening the Wind Spirit Wings to the 2nd class level. The strength has increased again. Next, it is to rest well and wait for the release of new tasks. Time flies, and good news soon came from the Chen family team. After a period of training and fighting, and physical training, after more than 10 days of retreat, Chen Qingyun's strength has increased and reached the 9th level of Qi refining. After spending another 2 or 3 months to consolidate her cultivation, she can impact the foundation building period, which makes Chen Xianming very excited. After exchanging the foundation building pill more than 10 days ago, Chen Qingyun will soon be able to build a foundation. The Chen family is about to give birth to the 7th foundation building cultivator. At the same time, although Chen Qingyun and his cultivation realm has not broken through, they have more or less gained something. Soon, after a month of rest, the Chen family team ushered in the 2nd task. According to the arrangement of Master Baiyu, they will team up with 500 casual cultivators from Yishi Island this time. A total of 509 people will go out together to attack a large spiritual island called Xuangu Island. Knowing that it is a task of taking the initiative to attack a strategic location, Chen Xianming and others realized that this task is far less easy than the previous one. There will definitely be a hard battle. The fighting style of garrisoning the island and sending troops to capture it is completely different. It's not as easy to defend as defending a city. Just defeat the enemy and drive them back. Xingzong asked them to take the initiative to capture an island, but it definitely didn't mean to take any island that they liked and had resources to gain. There might be monsters on that island, or it was originally a defensive fortress that was not well defended and was conquered and occupied by monsters. As for the specific situation on Xuangu Island, several people searched for information and quickly learned about it. As expected, Xuangu Island was originally a strategic island on the 2nd line of defense. Like Hunyuan Island, it had long-term storage of supplies and monks stationed there. But half a month ago, there was a surprise attack by a group of evil sharks. The 300 people stationed on the island were almost wiped out, and only a few monks escaped and reported the news. The island fell into the hands of the evil sharks. Among the 300 monks, there were 6 foundation building monks, and the rest were in the Qi refining stage. Even with such combat power, they were unable to defend the island, which shows that the group of evil sharks is not easy to deal with. After understanding the cause of the incident, Chen Qingyun focused his attention on the evil sharks. There are many monsters in the alien sea, and there are countless species, among which there are the mermaids. The mermaids are covered with scales and are in human form. They live in the underwater world all year round and have their own practice system. They rarely compete with human monks for territory and resources, so they are not hostile to humans, and can also establish trade. The mermaid pearls that can accelerate the cultivation of water-attributed cultivators in the world of immortal cultivation are unique to this tribe, and the price of 1 pearl is more than 300 spirit stones. And this evil mermaid is an independent branch of the mermaid tribe. The reason is that during the ancient destruction period, the mermaids were ruled by dark demons. Under the long-term drive of external evil forces, some mermaids bred inner demons, changed their personalities, became greedy and selfish, and gradually lost the unique kindness of the mermaids. It is precisely because of this that there are often disagreements within the mermaid tribe. It was not until the establishment of the star sect that many demons were purged and expelled that the mermaids regained their freedom. After that, a civil war broke out among the mermaids, splitting them into 2 races. Chapter 262 Raid. After the merman race split, One group inherited the original race and established a new order. The other group was evil in character, went out independently, and established a new race, the evil merman race. Chen Qingyun went over the origin of the evil merman in his mind and frowned. Since the merman race is similar to the human race, they have some wisdom and can practice, and they must be able to cast spells and magic tools. Among the evil mermans, those who can cast spells are called merman witches. They can often cast large-scale spells to bless the combat effectiveness of their own race. When fighting alone, their strength is not weak. The difficulty of this mission was sorted out. On the third day, the Chen family team headed by Chen Xianming, led 10 foundation-building casual cultivators and 390 qi refining casual cultivators, headed towards Xuangu Island. After more than 10 hours of sailing, the group approached Xuangu Island and stopped sailing in the sea. A group of evil mermaids, according to intelligence, there are more than 600 of them, including at least 6 mermaid witches. Before taking action, everyone decided to find out the situation on the island first, so as to formulate tactics and quickly take back the island. However, unlike in the past, since it is an island taking action, it is definitely not possible to use spiritual sense to explore. The mermaid witch knows magic and can keenly sense the fluctuations of spiritual sense, so it is best not to alert the snake. It would be best if you can enter the island to find out the situation. Fortunately, with the existence of Chen Qingyun, the exploration is much simpler. There is no need to use the 5 elements puppet to act. Chen Qingyun talked with the clan members for a few words and flew into Xuangu Island alone. For his action this time, the Chen family members need not say anything. They all know that he has some trump cards and means, and he is reliable. If there is any concern and it feels dangerous, it is better to worry about themselves than to worry about Chen Qingyun. As for those independent cultivators, they all obeyed Chen Xianming's orders. When they heard the orders, they would do it as long as it was reasonable. In fact, none of them wanted to be the first to fly to the island where the evil sharks gathered. If they wanted to go, they had to work together with several foundation builders to be brave. If they alarmed the enemy, they could still fight and escape, right? Seeing Chen Qingyun take the initiative, how could they have any objections? They only prayed for success in one fell swoop, brought back intelligence safely, and then launched a surprise attack together. It would be great to complete this capture mission quickly and receive 300 points of military merit each. Spreading the wind spirit wings and quickly landing on the island, Chen Qingyun activated the purple spirit robe and immediately hid his breath and figure before the evil sharks noticed it. There are 2 lakes adjacent to each other in the northern part of the island, so it is called Xuangu Island. A large number of buildings and charity were built around the lakes, and there is a tendency to develop into a village. It is the residence and practice place of the garrisoned cultivators. Under the ravages of war, this place has become devastated, with ruins everywhere, revealing a bit of desolation. In the surrounding area, Chen Qingyun soon found the traces of the group of evil sharks, a total of 632. Including 11 foundation building level shark witches. Compared with the intelligence collected before, there are 22 more first level evil sharks and 3 shark witches. Evil sharks can run and gather people, so the intelligence cannot be accurate all the time. Some deviations are not surprising. There are more than 20 evil sharks, which is not a big problem. In the following exploration, Chen Qingyun noticed that these evil sharks wandered around the Xuangu Lake, holding some elixirs, magic weapon resources, etc. These things are useful to cultivators, and the same is true for them. They were all taken after the island attack. Now they are gathered together instead of scattered everywhere, which makes it much easier to fight. Just land on the island quickly, start the encirclement and suppression in one go, and use the ultimate move A to finish it. There was even a moment when Chen Qingyun had the idea of annihilating this group of evil sharks alone, and he had a burst of momentum. Fortunately, the next moment, this idea was extinguished. Thinking about it carefully, it is a bit inappropriate. This mission was issued by Xingzong, and the participants were designated. The specific combat situation after this battle must be reported to Xingzong. Acting alone, even if one person can wipe out this group of evil sharks, It will be difficult to explain how he did it later, and there will be a risk of exposing the Purple Mansion puppet. More importantly, the family side. In order to exchange for the foundation building pill, Chen Xianming and his team have used up their combat merit points. After waiting for a month, they worked hard to master the formation, and waited to perform new tasks to obtain combat merit. If all the combat merits of this trip were taken by themselves, it would be unreasonable. Then everyone should share some. After transmitting the situation here to Chen Xianming, they waited on the spot. Soon after, they launched a surprise attack. More than 500 people landed on the island with the force of thunder, and then, according to Chen Xianming's command, they headed directly towards the direction of Xiuangwu. The information sent back by Chen Qingyun must be accurate, just believe it. As for those casual cultivators, they looked loose, with uneven strength and no discipline. Fortunately, they were all cultivators from the southern theater, some of whom had met with the Chen family cultivators and had cooperated in the Red Tooth Island battle. This time they would follow orders and be disciplined. The group launched a surprise attack, and the battle broke out. While waiting for his teammates, Chen Qingyun relied on the advantage of the purple spirit robe and did not sit still. The three-headed mermaid witches were gathering together, humming and discussing that they should be wary of the attack of human cultivators, so they should set up sentries and keep a close eye on the dynamics of the clan seed. At the same time, they also need to join forces with their fellow tribesmen scattered in other seas to attack the surrounding islands at night, slaughter the monks on the islands, and snatch more resources. They don't know how to make resources such as magic tools, elixirs, talismans, and formations. Taking advantage of this opportunity to plunder, this is a great opportunity. But they didn't expect that someone had quietly come to them and listened for a while. They hummed and groaned, and I don't know what bird language they were saying. Chen Qingyun didn't understand a word. Two of the three mermaids were in the middle stage of foundation building. They looked grinning and were not easy to mess with. The strongest one, who had reached the peak of foundation building, was their leader. He wore a string of white bone ornaments around his neck, which made Chen Qingyun frown. It was an ornament made of 18 human baby skulls, strung together and hanging on the belly of the mermaid, which was particularly eye-catching. No, in Chen Qingyun's opinion, it was more than eye-catching, it was dazzling. Evil mermaid. At this moment, cold murderous intent flashed in Chen Qingyun's eyes. He had long heard that the evil mermaid was greedy and murderous, and his methods were cruel. They killed human infants and used their skulls as ornaments, wearing them so blatantly on their bodies. Which cultivator would not be angry? Chen Qingyun showed murderous intent and stood directly on the spot, facing the three-headed mermaid witch, offering a red scroll, which was suspended in front of him. With the infusion of strong true essence, the scroll was immediately activated with murderous power, and a roar of a dragon sounded. Chapter 263, 10,000 Swords Killing, Skyfire Meteor. When the expressions of the three shark shamans changed, they noticed a force that was so powerful that it made one's heart palpitate, and they felt that it was unmatched. Their eyes all moved and looked in the direction of Chen Qingyun. Boom. It was like a billion-ton flood bursting its banks. Flying swords rushed out from the 10,000 swords picture, forming a majestic stream of swords, heading towards the three-headed shark witch, and the evil sharks gathered around it. The sound of flying swords breaking through the air and the whistling sound suddenly exploded. In this world, it seems that there is only the bright light of 100,000 swords left. Faced with this sudden and violent attack without saying a word, even if the three-headed shark witch reacted, he had no time to dodge. He could only stare wide-eyed, showing a look of horror. Immediately afterwards, there was a big collision with Wanjiantu and he was submerged in it. In just an instant, the three-headed shark witch was torn to pieces by the flying sword, and the dozens of surrounding shark witches were affected and completely disappeared in the world. Only demon pills, broken bodies and blood were left all over the ground. The first time I used 10,000 swords to fight against the enemy, I still retained my strength. Only 80% of the power of this magic weapon was used to achieve such an amazing killing effect, and the soul of the red dragon was not released. If this is activated with all this strength, under such a close attack, not to mention the remains of the evil shark, Even the demon pill will be strangled into ashes, and there will be no existence at all. After Chen Qingyun had just killed more than 50 evil sharks. Behind him, in the distance, the Chen family's team had already made a surprise attack at a very fast speed. They heard the sound of fighting in the distance, and as soon as they saw Chen Qingyun's figure revealed, they saw the remains of the evil sharks scattered on the ground. Looking at the commotion of the acacia around them, either in fear or in anger, it is still difficult to tell what just happened here. At this moment, there is no time to sigh about Chen Qingyun's strength. Led by Chen Douhai, and the other 5 members of the Chen family, each moved the formation beads with their own hands, and began to set up the formation as they approached Xuangu. Chen Xianming and Chen Qingyun were both strong and did not need to join the formation to take advantage of their strength, so they covered their tribesmen in setting up the formation and each activated their magical weapons to kill surrounding opponents. Looking at the casual cultivators around them, they are very casual in fighting. They fight alone and do not join forces to form formations. But as long as it has the effect of killing enemies, that's fine. Facing the monk's surprise attack, the leader was quickly beheaded. The evil shark had already made a mess and started a chaotic and passive attack. The 2 shark shamans waved their magic weapons and cast blessing spells. Waves of green light surged out from the magic weapon staff, like ripples of water, covering dozens of sharks within 100 meters. This is a rage spell. After this power came into contact with those ordinary evil sharks, their charging speed suddenly became much faster, and their strength was also slightly improved. The eyes of more than 70 evil sharks were as red as blood, and their minds were filled with violent and uncontrollable thoughts of killing, and they roared towards Chen Xianming and others. On the other side, the remaining shark witches also used their spells, firing out bursts of cold ice thorns and launching fierce attacks. He had long been familiar with the formation control. When he was 100 meters away from these evil sharks, Chen Xianming activated the fiery sky sword and killed 3 evil sharks that rushed to the front. Then, the 7 members of the Chen family, headed by Chen Douhai, had already completed the formation arrangement. Heavenly Fire Meteor Array, rise. Following Chen Douhai's order. The power of the formation emerged from the formation orbs they held, and they gathered in an instant, connected together, and set up a formation that covered 1,000-meter range. Sky Fire, fall. Chen Douhai looked coldly and shouted loudly. I saw a huge round fireball condensed in the center of the formation above the formation, and hundreds of sky fires fell from it. All of a sudden. These sky fires were like falling meteors. Each one was 3 to 4 meters in size. They contained fiery and intense power and spread out like rain. Boom. One after another, the sky fire hit the evil shark, erupting with a sound that shook the world, bursting into blazing sparks, and the surrounding temperature rose a lot. Facing such attacks, the evil sharks were completely unable to resist and were directly blasted into slag. Those who were not hit by the sky fire were also affected by the residual power of the flames, and their bodies were ignited by raging fire. They struggled wildly, roared and tried to extinguish the flames on their bodies, and rolled on the ground. The ice spells released by several shark witches were restrained by the blazing sky fire attack. Most of the ice thorns melted, and the attack power dropped sharply. In just a few breaths of time, more than 60 evil sharks were killed by the sky fire, unable to fight back. As Chen Douhai and others realized the power of the formation, they became more unscrupulous and excitedly poured mana into the formation beads. Ho. A more powerful formation unfolded, releasing thousands of rays of sky fire, which fell concentratedly and hit more than 100 evil sharks around them. This kind of magic power seems to be used for free, which is quite distressing for Chen Douhai and the other 7 people. But after seeing the power of the sky fire meteor formation, it can kill dozens of evil sharks in an instant, even if the formation is not fully activated. The power of this attack is awesome. Several people didn't care that 20% of their money had been consumed, and the same thought came to their minds. Our formation is very strong, and we still have Jade Kayang's spiritual liquid in hand. We can just use it with all our strength, and we don't have to worry about mana consumption. This made several people look excited and felt happy in their hearts. I just feel that working together to activate the formation to kill the enemy is much more efficient and safer than fighting alone before. It feels great. Under such powerful fire suppression, the fear of the evil sharks in my heart has long disappeared, and there is only one thought left. Continue to use the skyfire attack. Just hit them densely and quickly kill them. Noticing the impressive power of the skyfire meteor formation, a trace of surprise flashed in Chen Xianming's eyes. I can't help but sigh that Chen Qingyun is thoughtful, and I pay attention to the battle on Chen Qingyun's side. I saw a pair of illusory wings spread out behind Chen Qingyun, taking him to fly and quickly behead the two shark witches. Good, good. The old patriarch was happy and excited, and he split the two evil sharks around him that were waving long thorns and roaring violently. He also reminded Chen Douhai and the others, fight, but be careful of your manners and image, don't be so reckless. With the reminder of the old patriarch, Chen Qingyun and the others restrained themselves a little. They realized that they still had to save their mana. They really couldn't activate the maximum power of the formation to blast the evil sharks into slag, and the demon pills had to be left. This also had to leave a few for those casual cultivators, otherwise they would have resentment in their hearts, right? Speaking of those casual cultivators. Seeing Chen Qingyun and Chen Xianming show their power and kill a few shark witches with swords, it would be fine. They are strong, at the peak of the foundation building period, and they have this ability, there is nothing to be jealous of. But seeing that Chen Qingyun and others set up the formation, the efficiency of killing the enemy is also amazing. Look at yourself again, carefully use the magic weapon to chop, and use the magic to attack. There is no difference without comparison. Are all the Chen family cultivators so outrageous? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 264, Surprise Attack, Purple Mansion Mermaid. With the existence of the Skyfire Meteor Formation, the assistance of the two evildoers Chen Xianming and Chen Qingyun, and the joint action of 500 casual cultivators. This group of evil sharks were quickly cleared, like leeks, being cut off in clusters, and were defeated, and finally fled in all directions. If you can chase them, and if you can't catch them, don't force it. The task of attacking Qiuangu Island was completed smoothly. When cleaning up the battlefield, the Chen family cultivators really gained the most. Although there are 500 casual cultivators, the number of evil sharks they killed is only more than 250. I feel a little aggrieved and helpless. This is the first time I have seen the family cultivators with such strong combat power. There are only 9 cultivators, who killed 10 shark witches and more than 300 evil sharks. They can achieve the result of killing a shark witch, but it is still a foundation building casual cultivator who picked up a loophole and got it from Chen Qingyun. After cleaning up the battlefield, the magic weapons on the ground caught Chen Qingyun's attention. The magic weapons used by ordinary evil sharks are mainly long spikes, called ice spikes, which belong to the ice attribute and are of the first level middle grade. Some evil sharks have other types of magic weapons in their hands, which seem to be from human cultivators. There are common flying swords, gourds, treasure bells, etc. The magic weapons of the shark witches are very uniform, all of which are magic staffs. On the magic staffs, the totem style of their own tribe is engraved, the kind of simple graphics of fish heads and human bodies. You can identify which shark witches are by who holds the totem magic staff. There are a total of 11 magic staffs, second level middle grade. Chen Qingyun harvested 8 pieces, which is equivalent to killing 8 shark witches. There are a total of 96 ice spikes, plus 20 other types of magic weapons. The evil sharks killed 116. Since joining the war, this is the first time Chen Qingyun has won a magic weapon from his opponent. In the eyes of others, these can all be recycled into spiritual stones. Some casual cultivators, because of their poor equipment, have gained a few pieces, and they can also improve their strength and exchange for some spiritual stones. They didn't look very happy during the fight, but when they collected the demon pills and magic tools, these casual cultivators couldn't stop smiling. After completing the battle to seize the island, everyone finished cleaning up and restored their magic power. Then they began to carefully check the situation on the island and found that there were not many supplies stored here. Many of them had been deliberately destroyed. According to the dozen or so surviving cultivators, they were sure that they were defeated and could not turn the tide. In order to prevent the supplies from falling into the hands of the evil shark and strengthen the enemy's strength, they decisively released the law and destroyed most of the supplies that could not be taken away. Therefore, not many supplies fell into the hands of the evil shark. However, these recaptured supplies still have to be handed over to the Xingzong. The Xingzong will have a record of the amount and know how much needs to be recaptured. If it is embezzled, it will affect the registration of military merits. The more embezzled, the more military merits will be deducted. Chen Xianming personally counted the recaptured materials and sent the news of victory back to Hunyuan Island. Soon, the reply came. According to Master Bai's arrangement, they need to stay here for the next 2 months. At the same time, there is another team of 100 people on Hunyuan Island. While assisting them in the garrison, they will repair the living facilities on Qingguang Island to facilitate their permanent residence in the future. That afternoon, the team came. All of them are disciples of Xingzong, led by Zhang Qiui, a middle-aged female cultivator in the late stage of foundation building, and there are 3 foundation building cultivators in the team. In terms of combat effectiveness, this team can already beat the 500 casual cultivators. After the two sides got familiar with each other, they began to carry out post-war reconstruction work. Until most of the residences were repaired, they did not encounter monster attacks again. While continuing to be vigilant at all times, Chen Xianming sent out 3 teams, with 10 people in each team and a foundation building cultivator leading the team, to patrol the surrounding area and pay attention to the dynamics around the island. In this way, more than 20 days passed in a blink of an eye, and everything seemed calm. After stationing for another month or so, after completing the mission, each member of the Chen family team can get 700 military merits, including the 300 rewards for retaking Qingguang Island. However, until this afternoon, something unexpected happened. A team patrolling outside urgently sent a message and brought shocking news. More than 30,000 miles away from Qingguang, they found a group of more than 1,000 evil sharks rushing towards Qingguang Island, and they could arrive in half a day at most. The return of the evil sharks was expected by everyone. They hold grudges and have a strong desire for revenge. Master Bai also expected this, so he sent Zhang Qiui and others to help and sit in Qingguang Island together. What made this patrol team panic was that there was a 3rd level shark which among this group of evil sharks. The 3rd level is equivalent to the Purple Mansion level. According to the combat power of the garrison on Qingguang Island, it would be easy to fight against the 2nd level monster. It was just to gain military merit. But how could they fight against this 3rd level monster? In addition, there were more than 30 2nd-level mermaids, whose overall strength was so strong that when Chen Xianming learned about the enemy, his expression changed immediately. The atmosphere on the entire Qingguang Island became tense, and it felt like the end of the world was coming, and it was uneasy. Everyone tried their best to maintain morale and prepare for battle. The 3rd-level mermaid took the lead, and there were more than 20 2nd-level mermaids. What the hell is this? Although their number is small, only reaching the level of the 3rd-order beast tide, their combat power is not ambiguous at all, enough to rival the 1st-order beast tide. This is the elite force of the evil sharks. Chen Qingyun sighed heavily, beating his chest and stamping his feet, feeling very powerless. Such elite beast tides are rare in recent battles. When everyone was resting on Hunyuan Island, they paid attention to the battle situation on the major fronts of Xinghai and heard about it. Among them, 2 similar beast tides appeared in Yangtze Island and Ryukyu Islands in the northern war zone. Both groups of beast tides had a number of over 4,000, but they were led by 3 Purple Mansion monsters. In the end, The two battles were led by the Purple Mansion monks from Wuan Island and Chonglu, and the beast tides were wiped out. They didn't have Purple Mansion monks here, so how could they deal with this group of evil sharks? The leading casual cultivator Wei Wu had a worried look on his face. After thinking about it, he finally suggested, "Forget it. Since we can't win, why don't we ask for help? Do you know where there are seniors from Zaifu in the surrounding area?" When this question came out, Chen Qingyun felt that there was a chance. He was just thinking about taking a good look at the map, just like when they supported Kizu Island, and looking for fellow Taoists in the surrounding area to support. It's not shameful to ask for support when you can't win. Everyone present has a life. Hey, no need to look. However, as soon as Chen Qingyun took out the battle map, Zhang Qiuwei sighed. The evil shark has an innate advantage in the sea, and its speed is far faster than the Xingzong warships. It can travel at least 80,000 miles a day. And the senior from Zaifu who is closest to us is still 100,000 miles away on Black Rock Island. As for the powerful giant and ancestor, he is sitting on the front line. Not to mention the distance, how could he easily leave the important place and come to support us? Chapter 265. You retreat. I want this opportunity. Zhang Qiuwei's tone was full of bitterness. Her words were indeed true. She glanced at Chen Qingyun and the others and said slowly, Qingyun, you might as well take a look at the map. You will know whether what I said is true. Okay. After hearing this, Chen Qingyun felt uncomfortable and started to check the map. Chen Xianming, Chen Douhai, and several foundation-building casual cultivators also looked sideways and their eyes fell on the map. To see which islands are around and what forces are deployed. Many islands are marked with yellow and red sword-shaped patterns. The yellow ones are second-tier islands, where Purple Mansion cultivators are stationed. As Zhang Qiuwei said, the closest to Xuangu Island is indeed the Black Rock Island. According to the distance conversion, it is 120,000 miles away. At such a long distance, even if the Purple Mansion cultivators run at full speed, they can't arrive before the evil shark group. The other second-tier islands are even farther away. The geographical location of Xuangu Island is, to put it bluntly, a bit off. Otherwise, the last batch of cultivators would not have been unable to defend the islands, and would not have been defeated and even unable to wait for support. Everyone knew this. As for the first-line islands marked in red, those strategic fortresses, the nearest one is Qianlong Island, which is also 260,000 miles away. This result once again verified Zhang Qiuwei's words. There are support forces around, but they don't have so much time to wait. What Dao Zhang said is true. It really doesn't work to seek support. Chen Douhai shook his head helplessly. This method is not appropriate. Let's think of other ways. The atmosphere fell into solemnity and calm. Finally, it was Zhang Qiuwei who broke the calm and suggested with a wry smile, "Everyone, since you can't beat them, let's run away." As soon as this was said, everyone looked different. I didn't expect that this foundation-building cultivator of the Xingzong would come up with such a solution. Well, a way to run away directly. But after thinking about it carefully, they not only couldn't refute it, but even felt it made sense. After all, they couldn't just stay and wait for death, and they were so confident that they could fight against the third-level monster. That was a mermaid witch, quite intelligent, able to cast spells, and control magic weapons, and its combat power was much higher than that of the same-level monster. They naturally wanted to complete the task successfully. But when such an incident occurred, they couldn't just rush forward even if they couldn't win, whose life was not a life. Zhang Qiuwei suggested running away, and the other foundation-building casual cultivators frowned and pondered, and also felt that this was out of helplessness. So they nodded in agreement one after another. Then, follow what Brother Taoist Zhang said, and the only way for now is to retreat first. The Chen family also felt like they were facing a great enemy, and the atmosphere was depressing. Chen Xianming himself was very afraid of the third-level mermaid witch. He knew very well that even if he played all his cards and cooperated with the Skyfire meteor formation to trap and kill, he He was still no match for the third-level mermaid witch. There was no need to let the clansmen and fellow Taoists sit here and wait for death for the sake of military merit, and do stupid things like trying to stop a chariot with a mantis arm. After this, if they report the battle situation to Master Baiyu, the other party will not blame them. If they want to blame someone, they can only blame their bad luck, according to their combat power. This mission is beyond their ability. When everyone was preparing to evacuate Qiangwu Island, Chen Qingyun, who had not spoken, had a light flashing in his eyes, and secretly communicated with Chen Xianming. When he learned that Chen Qingyun decided not to go with them, but would go in the opposite direction to meet the group of evil sharks and go to explore, Chen Xianming immediately expressed his objection. No, no, no. It's too dangerous. Are you sure you can deal with the Purple Mansion monster? This is not a joke. You will know after trying. Chen Qingyun did not give a clear answer. With the 10,000 swords map, the 9 nether puppet, and even the covering sea ruler in hand, there may not be no hope of winning. According to calculations, the number of this group of shark witches is between 1,000 and 1,005. Which is at least more than 13,000 when converted into military merits. For them, both the third-level demon pill and the military merit points are quite attractive. If they succeed in destroying this evil shark, not only will they benefit, but Chen Xianming and his team will not have to give up the mission and can continue to complete the mission. This is a hypothesis. If they really find that they can't deal with it at that time. With the help of Wind Spirit Wings, 5 Elements Sky Escape, and Purple Spirit Robe, there is always a way to resolve the danger. There is no need to hesitate whether to go or not. There are not many opportunities to kill a third-level monster and destroy a large number of monsters alone. If you can catch it, it's your own luck. If you really can't beat it, don't force it, just evacuate directly. Knowing that Chen Qingyun is cautious and may have a trump card in his hand that has not been revealed, Chen Xianming took a deep look at him, and finally didn't say much, but told him to be careful. The result of the discussion of not choosing to defend but to evacuate directly was finalized. The team that went out on patrol will also send a message to let them not return to Qiangwu Island, but run directly in the direction of Jianyuan Island. Master Baiyu is not so heartless that he will not let them be cannon fodder and destroy Qiangwu Island. The supplies on Qiangwu Island have been looted, and there is nothing left to rob. The reason why the evil sharks still come here is probably to seek revenge. Defending an empty island and wasting manpower in vain is not worth it no matter who judges it. At worst, a stronger and larger team will be sent to capture it again later. If you can retreat, then retreat directly. There is also a Xingzong 100-man team in the team that needs protection. These monks died here, and Xingzong must feel a little sad. After sending an evacuation message to the patrol team, the team led by Chen Xianming sailed towards Jianyuan Island. On the vast sea. The 2 warships sailed for dozens of miles in a hurry. Under the cover of Chen Xianming, Chen Qingyun quietly got off the warship on the pretext of retreat, spread his wind spirit wings and disappeared from the sight of the old patriarch. According to the map, he flew tens of thousands of meters over the sea. After Chen Qingyun determined the location of the group of evil sharks, he performed the 5 elements sky escape and turned into a stream of light and flew away at a high speed. In just a moment. He approached his destination and stopped above a fragmented and messy archipelago. According to the map, this place is called the Star-Shattered Archipelago, which is the smallest archipelago in the outer Star Sea. There are only more than 200 islands in the archipelago, and they are all miniature islands. The largest one is only 10 miles in radius. The smallest one is only a few dozen square meters. Such a small island makes it only a resting place for monks. There is no town or market on it, which looks very desolate. To outsiders, fighting here seems to have no effect. At most, it is to rest and recover mana. For Chen Qingyun, he needs such a place to stay, so that he can hide his body and cover his own battle. He hovered above the island, slowly expanded his spiritual sense to explore, and soon found the traces of the group of evil sharks. Chapter 266 Hidden Behind the Scenes, Jiaoyu takes action. A total of more than 1,100 evil sharks are gathering in a team, moving rapidly in the sea, and are still more than 6,000 meters away from here. More than a dozen foundation building shark witches are scattered around, and they all cast water magic, condensing several huge bubbles to wrap the tribe. With such magic, while reducing the resistance of the sea water, this group of evil sharks continue to move forward at a high speed, frightening the surrounding fish schools to retreat in panic. The speed of the evil shark group can travel at least 80,000 miles a day, which is much faster than the Xings on warship. If they are not interfered, they will pass directly from the Xingsha Islands and continue to move towards Xuangu Island, and they will arrive in less than half a day. Whether the third-level shark which can be killed depends on this battle. Chen Qingyun narrowed his eyes and took half a drop of Yuqian spirit liquid without hesitation, which restored some of his mana and made his inner essence full. Then, he prepared to lure the snake out of the hole, first clearing out a group of evil sharks and firmly attracting their attention. He used his wind spirit wings to soar over the sea, and took out the 10,000 Swords map and held it in his hand. Then, Baoang turned into a stream and fell into the sea, and began to act as bait to attract the attention of the evil sharks. A moment later, Baoang met the evil sharks. Several ice blades and water explosions were cast at the evil sharks, and within a few rounds, they quickly attracted their attention. They slowed down their pace and looked around, thinking that human monks appeared around. The three-headed mermaid witch discovered Baoang's traces in the distance, and cast the staff in his hand, and water elements gathered immediately. Swish, swish, swish. Several attacks came towards Baoang, all of which were the same style of ice spikes, sharp and cold. When Baoang deployed a water shield to resist, he blocked several ice spikes and continued to lure these evil sharks to slow down and get closer to Chen Qingyun. After a few rounds of fighting, the evil sharks were finally attracted and led to swim towards the sea, vowing to kill Baoang. Seeing that it was effective, Chen Qingyun asked Baoang to perform the water escape technique, avoiding far away, blending with the surrounding ocean, hiding his body. Then, he spread his wind wings behind him and hovered above the evil sharks, urging his magic power to inject into the 10,000 Swords picture. In an instant, the red scroll was ready to unfold, making a rustling sound. Accompanied by the sharp sound of swords, the brilliant sword light illuminated the world. Hundreds of thousands of flying swords burst out from the 10,000 Swords picture, aiming at the direction of the evil sharks, like the Milky Way pouring down from the sky, and the brilliant sword light fell down. A red dragon soul flew out and surrounded Chen Qingyun, looking majestic, looking down at the many evil sharks in the sea, showing the posture of a king. Rumble. In an instant, the sword flow met the sea surface, shaking out waves and falling into the evil sharks. Under the sweep of the majestic sword flow, hundreds of evil sharks were covered by the attack. Even if they cast spells to resist and dodge frantically, it would not work. Amid the sound of swords and puffs, a large number of evil sharks were pierced and torn apart by flying swords. Their bodies floated on the sea surface, and thick blood spread in the sea. In just a blink of an eye, this place turned into a red ocean. Roar! A large-sized shark witch holding a trident roared suddenly and rushed towards Chen Qingyun. Crash! The energy on the trident surged, and suddenly condensed a circular light bullet, emitting a power beyond the foundation building, and went straight up against the flying sword flow. Such a powerful force, which can resist the flying sword attack of the 10,000 Swords, is naturally not the power of the foundation building. This is the Purple Mansion Shark Witch. Chen Qingyun's eyes were full of brilliance. The soul of the red dragon in front of him sensed the danger and immediately rose above the void, opening his mouth with his head held high and chest puffed out. A ray of breath gathered rapidly, gushing out of its mouth, and contacted the light bomb with a bang. Both sides exploded with strong residual power, blowing away dozens of evil sharks in the surrounding sea and throwing them all over the place. This was the first duel between the red dragon and the shark witch, although they could also exert the power of the Purple Mansion. However, due to Chen Qingyun's strength, the 10,000 Swords picture was not driven by the Purple Mansion's strength after all, and could not burst out with top power. Otherwise, just one move of killing with 10,000 swords would be enough to severely injure the Purple Mansion Shark Witch. Seeing that he was evenly matched with the opponent, Chen Qingyun's eyes flashed with cold light, and his expression was extremely indifferent. He simply restrained the attack of the 10,000 swords picture, and the soul of the red dragon flew back to the picture scroll. When the sword flow in the sky subsided and dissipated, the 9 nether puppet was quickly taken out, and the 5 elements magic was deployed and fell into the sea. At the same time, Chen Qingyun spread his winged spirit wings and fled into the distance. He quickly landed on a miniature island, and the purple spirit robe spread out, thus concealing his figure and breath. The decisive battle with the purple mansion mermaid began. Concentrating his mind to control the 9 nether, the purple mansion mermaid saw that he did not kill Chen Qingyun with one blow, but let the other party escape, and originally did not want to pay attention to it. But seeing the many corpses of his own tribe floating around, he was immediately furious and wanted to cut Chen Qingyun into pieces. At this moment, how could it be willing to let Chen Qingyun leave? It held the trident in its hand, made a cry, and ordered the tribe to continue moving forward, while it chased in the direction of Chen Qingyun. Just a moment, the 9 nether met it in the sea. The first time Chen Qingyun controlled the 9 nether to fight the enemy, he did not dare to underestimate the enemy. Jiuyu raised his hand and performed the ice blade technique, absorbing water elements from the sea on the spot, condensing 9 cold ice blades, and hitting the purple mansion mermaid, which directly. Unlike monks, evil sharks have natural advantages in fighting in the sea. They can control the power of water and float on the sea surface as if walking on flat ground, coming and going freely. This means that the purple mansion shark, which does not need to use any magic tools to easily gallop on the sea. Facing the attack of 9 ice blades and cold lights, the purple mansion shark, which swung the trident in his hand suddenly, and swung out a defensive shield to block in front of him. With a few clangs, the 9 ice blades and cold lights were blocked. Not only that, before Jiuyu launched a second attack, the trident in its hand stabbed straight out, and the ice blue cold light flashed, condensing a larger and longer trident energy entity, fiercely stabbing Jiuyu. When moving in the sea, Jiuyu's advantage is not inferior to that of the opponent, and he will definitely not take this attack head-on. It immediately turned into a stream and scattered, making the attack empty. Before the opponent launched the third attack, Jiuyu's body reunited in the sea, stood on the sea, and raised his hand to perform water swordsmanship. A magic formula pattern emerged from its head, rotating, revealing the breath of Taoism. The area covered an area of 10 meters in radius, and dozens of water-shaped swords burst out. Swish, swish, swish. Under the high-speed speed and the blessing of magic power, these water swords are extremely sharp, and the power contained is enough to kill the foundation-building cultivators in seconds, posing a fatal threat to the purple mansion mermaid. Chapter 267. Who can last longer? Killing a group of sharks alone. The purple mansion mermaid felt the danger and flew through the sea, dodging the water sword attacks as the rumbling water splashed. During this process, it kept approaching Jiuyu, urging the trident to start turning the river and the sea upside down, raising a violent wave, sweeping Jiuyu all over the place. 1,000-meter-long waves rushed to the sky, like the ferocious claws of a flood beast, containing a terrifying impact force, enough to overturn a 10,000-ton ship. It was so surging that it surrounded Jiuyu, trying to tear this puppet into pieces in the waves. Faced with such a powerful wave, Jiuyu withdrew its attack and fled into the sea. Several times, the surging wave swept in, and even the water flow in the sea was controlled by the purple mansion mermaid, blocking Jiuyu from moving forward. After fighting for more than a dozen rounds, the continuous use of the magic weapon made Chen Qingyun feel that his mana was rapidly depleting, reaching 70% consumption. He took out the Jade Qiyang spiritual liquid and swallowed it. The rich spiritual power filled his body, instantly replenishing the consumed true essence, and the power in his body reached its peak again. If he continued to fight like this, he could steadily suppress the opponent in terms of mana endurance. Although his own mana was not as good as Jiuyu's, he was better at controlling Jiuyu to perform long-range attacks. He could also hide on the island and avoid danger far away. As long as his own mana was full, it was enough for Jiuyu to burst out with the strongest combat power. The purple mansion mermaid was at a disadvantage, Its strength was equal to Jiuyu's, but it was at a disadvantage in terms of the variability of its moves and the endurance of its mana. In the first dozen moves, it could still excitedly use its big moves to fight against Jiuyu, and it was evenly matched. But as the battle continued, it gradually felt the loss of physical strength and mana, and both had a considerable consumption. Looking back at Jiuyu, this thing was like an endless wave, and it kept coming. It fought for dozens of rounds. How come the speed didn't drop, and the attack was still so swift? In this way, after fighting for more than 20 rounds, it finally realized that Jiuyu was not a human at all. There were cultivators controlling this puppet around. After discovering this, it launched a spiritual sense to explore. Because the mermaids are similar to humans, they also have souls. After reaching the foundation building stage, they can also cultivate spiritual sense. But compared with humans, their spiritual sense is slightly inferior. Even ordinary Purple Mansion cultivators could not detect the existence of Chen Qingyun, who was firmly hidden under the purple spirit robe and hiding on the island. Not to mention it in the early stage of Purple Mansion. The result is that after several explorations, Chen Qingyun was not found. Instead, he was hit by Jiuyu's ice blade technique in front of him. Even if he resisted with a trident, he was still injured by the exploding ice fragments and tore 3 wounds. This human cultivator can't play like this. The Purple Mansion mermaid witch didn't understand the human language, otherwise he would have cursed long ago. It simply stopped fighting with Jiuyu, and used the water escape technique to wrap itself with bubbles and chased in the direction where the evil sharks were going. The opportunity has come. Seeing the opponent retreat, Chen Qingyun took another drop of Yuqiang's spiritual liquid and quickly recovered his magic power. He also activated Baoang and fell into the sea to contain the opponent. Baoang and Jiuyu, the two puppets, launched a joint action. One used the water technique to condense a series of water walls to block the Purple Mansion shark witch. The other launched an offensive, cast many spells, and swept away in a mighty manner. With such cooperation, the battle lasted for more than 60 rounds. In the end, the Purple Mansion shark witch became exhausted because of the lack of magic power. It could no longer launch a powerful attack and turned to passive defense. Just as it was about to escape to the deep sea, it was firmly bound by Baoang's wood entanglement technique. In just a few seconds of pause, he was distracted to break free from the restraints. Jiuyu found the right opportunity, condensed a blue long sword between his hands, and suddenly stabbed it out with the peak magic power, piercing through the head of the Purple Mansion mermaid. The surging water and the sea gradually stopped. A trident, along with the body of the Purple Mansion mermaid, was caught by Jiuyu and floated to the surface of the sea. Controlling Jiuyu, Baoang returned to the island. Chen Qingyun put the spoils into the Qingguang pot, and then looked in the direction where the evil mermaids were going away. A stream of light flew out from the island and disappeared in the blink of an eye. When it appeared again, there was a large range of black shadows swimming rapidly in the sea, which was the group of evil mermaids. Chen Qingyun carried the wind spirit wings on his back, and a blue flame appeared in his hand, and he hit it directly towards the sea below. Dry the ice and fire of the ghost. Freeze. As soon as this extremely cold spiritual fire touched the sea surface, it showed a terrifying cold power. In an instant, the bone-chilling coldness contained in the spiritual fire spread rapidly like a wave, covering half of the evil shark group. The originally surging sea water quickly cooled down, condensing into frost, and then forming ice blocks, which connected into a piece with a crackling sound. More than 500 evil sharks were unable to dodge and were frozen together with the surrounding sea water, frozen in the sea, with expressions of fear, confusion, or change of color. It is really hard to understand why the ice magic performed by this human cultivator would be so against the sky, instantly freezing a sea surface. The rest of the evil sharks felt the extreme cold, and they didn't know what was going on. They immediately dispersed, with no intention of rescuing their own people, and only cared about their own safety. Hula. At this time, several huge water walls covered and enveloped the remaining evil sharks from all directions. Under the strong siege of Jiuyu, these first and second level evil sharks were no match at all and were completely reduced to fish on the chopping board. In less than half an incense stick of time, Ganyu's ice and fire showed their power several times, freezing one piece of sea after another. This group of evil sharks was completely wiped out, and not a single one escaped. Chen Qingyun controlled Baoang and Jiuyu to quickly deal with the battlefield and recover the demon pills and many magic tools. This battle made him feel the power of the Purple Mansion puppet, and the military merits brought by it reached at least 14,000 points. It can be said that the harvest was full. This is a great victory. Now that he has time to rest, he took a pill of qi and blood, refined and adjusted his breath for an incense stick of time, and after completely recovering his magic power, Chen Qingyun set off. After performing the 5 elements sky escape 3 times in a row, and then flying with the wind spirit wings, Chen Qingyun quickly found Chen Xianming and others, and landed on the warship quietly. In a room, all the Chen family members gathered. Chen Qingyun informed them of the results of the battle. When they learned that the evil sharks had been completely eliminated, Chen Xianming and the others were stunned and felt incredible. "Qingyun, you said that group of evil sharks have been completely wiped out by you?" Chen Qingfeng and Chen Qingyun spoke one after another. "Oh, my God, I am not dreaming. There were more than 1,000 evil sharks, including the 3rd level one and more than 32nd level ones." Chen Qingyun flew over the scale of beast tide. Did he really wipe them all out? In the long shock, Chen Xianming felt more and more that the strength of his younger generation was becoming more and more difficult to see through. Chapter 268. To be honest, I also have a talisman. Arriving at the location of the evil sharks from Xiuangu Island, even the evil sharks were swimming fast and coming in surprise. But the distance of more than 30,000 miles, at the flying speed of the foundation building monks, without eating, drinking or resting, would take at least 1 day. How long did Chen Qingyun use it? After flying back and forth, the group of evil sharks was wiped out in less than an hour. If it were other foundation building monks, they would still be flying over, and they wouldn't even see the shadow of the evil sharks yet. What flight speed is this? The more Chen Xianming thought about it, the more shocked he felt. He couldn't help but guess, could Chen Qingyun have mastered the 5 elements heavenly escape? Chen Xianming knew about Chen Qingyun making 5 elements puppet and practicing the 5 elements puppetry. For this reason, Chen Qingyun also specially studied the Great Sun Meditation Sutra, and he must have cultivated the technique to perfection. Thinking about it this way, Chen Qingyun's 5 elements heavenly escape is almost inseparable. If that's not the answer, there are other options. Thinking of this, in order to confirm his guess, Chen Xianming couldn't help but ask, "Qingyun, have you mastered the 5 elements heavenly escape?" As soon as these words came out, Chen Qingyun also looked over, also wanting to know the answer to this question. Among the people present, there were only 2 people who had practiced the 5 elements puppetry: Chen Xianming and Chen Qingyun. In addition, it is Chen Qingzi who is stationed on the psychedelic island. They know what 5 elements heavenly escape means. Chen Qingyun still has a lot of Jade Qiyang spiritual liquid in his body. If he uses this treasure to quickly restore his mana, he can indeed teleport thousands of miles continuously. Reaching 30,000 miles away in an instant, effortlessly. Chen Qingyun didn't say much, just nodded, which made Chen Xianming and Chen Qingyun look at each other. Sure enough, it was. In the past, there was no support from the Divine Soul technique to make up for the shortcomings in spiritual thoughts, so it was not easy to practice the 5 elements puppet technique. Now that we have the Great Sun Meditation Sutra, we can focus on this aspect of practice in the future, and also refine the 5 elements puppet, and master the magical power of 5 elements heavenly escape. You have to learn from Chen Qingyun. Then, there is combat effectiveness. Chen Xianming is very concerned about this point. He himself is also a peak foundation building monk and knows what the combat effectiveness of this realm is. This kind of fierceness can be rampant during the foundation building period, and it is rare to encounter an opponent. But against Xifu period opponents, they are not at the same level at all. There is a huge difference. At least if he faced it, even with 10 monks of the same realm, he would have no chance of winning. It would be good if you can save your life from the opponent. Kill Idiot's dream. I still don't know anything yet. Everyone present was a member of the Chen family, and a soundproofing ban was specially set up around them to prevent the walls from having ears. Even so, Chen Xianming still asked in a low voice. How did you kill that third-level shark witch? He added another soundproofing ban and fortified it layer by layer. At this time, everyone's eyes suddenly moved and fell on Chen Qingyun. The answer to this question is very important to them. Only by understanding Chen Qingyun's fighting power, they would at least have some confidence in their hearts when they join hands to fight against the beast tide in the future. He knew which monsters Chen Qingyun could fight and which ones he couldn't fight. Those who can't be hit, everyone should pay attention to themselves and stay away from them, so as not to hold Chen Qingyun back. To be honest, I have a magic weapon in my hand that I can use. Chen Qingyun made no secret and explained directly. To kill the third-level shark witch is to use magic weapon to win. However, the existence of Jiuyu puppet was not easy to disclose, so it was not mentioned. Magic weapon? When Chen Dohai heard this, he murmured to himself, and then said with a look of surprise, at the foundation building stage, you can actually command a magic weapon. This is the first time I have seen it. Haha, here in Qingyun, how is this impossible? Doesn't he bring us too many surprises? Chen Daoran laughed, with admiration in his eyes, and said, Qingyun, if my guess is correct, your ability to use magic weapons must be related to the Great Sun Meditation Sutra. You can say that. Chen Qingyun nodded and mentioned Tangsu Divine Refining Technique by the way. Except for Chen Xianming, everyone present was surprised when they learned that this technique was obtained from Chen Qingzi. I never thought that Chen Qingzi would have such an opportunity. Invisibly, he assisted Chen Qingyun and provided him with special techniques for cultivating his spiritual thoughts. It is worth mentioning. This Tangsu Divine Refining Technique is very slow to practice, and the most effective way is to buy a large amount of 5 elements essence to practice, so it consumes spiritual stones. Chen Qingyun did not take it out and give it to the family because he did not want the clan members to deviate from the direction of their cultivation while spending time and money. At that time, for them, improving their own cultivation level was the most important thing. Secondly, in terms of equipment, you can use good magic weapons to make up for it. In terms of spiritual consciousness, Chen Qingyun can achieve his current achievements. On the one hand, it is indispensable to have the blessing of the system, and to have an extremely firm determination to work hard to major in spiritual soul and spiritual thoughts. On the other hand, Great Sun Contemplation Sutra and Tangsu Divine Refining Technique are willing to waste time and spend spiritual stones to smash them. Coupled with the superposition and maintenance of various opportunities. Only then can you harvest sweet fruits. But if it were another person, it would be easy to be unable to exert force on the blade, which would delay the progress of practice. For example, Chen Qingzi saw that Chen Qingyun had made great achievements in the 5 elements puppetry, and was finally willing to spread the Tangsu Divine Refining Technique. Even so, Chen Qingyun was still told to practice prudently and not to follow his old path. Because he paid too much attention to the practice of this skill, he delayed his own path, and he is still at the 3rd level of Qi refining. So much so that he lamented, the success of the king and the defeat of the bandits are determined by God. Let me ask, how many people can have talents and opportunities like Chen Qingyun? Tangsu's Divine Refining Technique. It turns out that you have also practiced this divine thought technique. Chen Xianming murmured to himself, remembering this technique. More than 20 years ago, when Chen Qingzi brought back this mysterious technique, he made a copy for him. At that time, he was busy practicing, not refining elixirs or refining weapons, nor did he plan to practice the 5 elements puppetry more. Therefore, I did not practice this method again in the future, and spent my energy on my own practice, striving to hit the middle stage of foundation building. Later, when facing the battle of the Star Sect, I felt that after practicing the main exercises and the Great Sun Meditation Sutra, the time for practice became even tighter. This adds one more door. For monks in the Qi refining stage and the foundation building stage, it is even more necessary to control their time to practice. At that time, How many people in the Chen family were willing to spend more time refining their spiritual thoughts? It would be better to work hard to improve your cultivation level and break through the foundation building stage as soon as possible. This method is not only useless, but can also be carried forward in your hands. It seems to be very suitable for you. I'm just wondering how you can master a magic weapon with your cultivation level. Chen Xianming stroked the beard on his chin, and the doubts in his heart were finally solved. At the same time, he decided to wait until the Star Sect War was over and go back to study the Tangsu Divine Refining Technique. There are only the first and second chapters, and there is no way to improve the strength intuitively. After so many years, 2 or 3 people in the family have tried to practice, but with little success. They quickly put it aside and paid no attention to it. Now, after hearing what Chen Qingyun said, even Chen Douhai and others became very interested in this technique. Chen Qingyun can do it, and if they work hard, they should be able to learn a little bit. Without talking much about this technique, Chen Qingfeng squinted his eyes and smiled. It turns out that you used magic weapons to kill those evil sharks. I thought you, nephew, had some treasures like talismans in your hand. Originally, it was just a casual comment. Unexpectedly, Chen Qingyun nodded directly and said in a calm tone, "To be honest with my 4th uncle, my nephew does have one of the talisman treasures." Chapter 269, The Mirror of the World. There is still a talisman in his hand. Chen Xianming and his companions were stunned. The surprise brought by Chen Qingyun made them unable to digest it for a while. It was a magic weapon and a talisman. Is this still a foundation-building cultivator? Ordinary purple mansion true persons may not have this wealth. Until the atmosphere calmed down for a while, Chen Xianming broke the atmosphere with a smile on his face. Qingyun, you should not have used the talisman yet, right? Do you still keep it with you as a bottom-line means? If it is confirmed that Chen Qingyun still has a talisman that has not been used, then they will be more assured when they fight together in the future and go on missions. The clan members have talismans in their hands, which makes them more confident. Chen Daoran and others were also curious about this question and listened attentively. It has not been used yet. Hearing this, Chen Xianming's face was already smiling from ear to ear, and he couldn't help but reach out and pat Chen Qingyun on the shoulder. So, well hidden, good, good. The rest of Chen Douhai and his companions were curious about how Chen Qingyun didn't use the talisman. But he used the foundation building stage to control the magic weapon, but still killed the 3rd-level mermaid witch. How did he do that? But seeing that Chen Qingyun didn't take the initiative to elaborate, he didn't mean to ask. The answer is sometimes not important. What's important is that their family has such an amazing younger generation. Just believe what he says. And the threat of the evil mermaid group has been eliminated, so now they can go home and return to Xiuangu Island to garrison. Whether to return to Xiuangu Island or not is not worth discussing. There are also mission merits to be obtained, 400 points per person. However, why did the evil mermaid group perish? We have to think of a reason to get Chen Qingyun out of here. Keep a secret for him. It's not easy to find a reason. Chen Douhai gave an example directly. The evil sharks were preyed upon by a big monster or strangled by a mysterious strong man. At worst, they may have temporarily changed their route and went to another place. That's right. We only know that this group of evil sharks seemed to have been attacked by a mysterious sea beast on the way and completely lost their trace. Yes, yes, yes. Then, how should we explain who observed the disappearance of the evil sharks? Let me come forward and say that I have an observation-type magic weapon that can be used for investigation. As he said this, Chen Xianming flipped his palm and took out a pair of unique-looking, metal-made azure-colored magic mirrors. This is... Chen Daoran knew many magic weapons and recognized the origin of the pair of mirrors at a glance. Tanya Transmission Mirror. Yes. Tanya Transmission Mirror is a pair of reconnaissance and observation-type magic weapons. As long as one of them is input with magic power, the 2 mirrors can transmit images tens or thousands of miles away. It is a bit like a communication talisman, and the longest communication distance cannot exceed 100,000 miles. In addition to communication and transmitting real-time images, it has no other uses. You have such a treasure, why haven't I seen you use it before? Chen Dehai asked. Chen Xianmin laughed. I haven't used it yet. It's just right. Qingyun, take one, you may need it in the future. Okay. With the Tanya transmission mirror as a cover, there is a reason to explain it later. As for how to fly tens of thousands of miles away in a short time, this is easier to explain. In the world of immortal cultivation, whether it is magic weapons, exercises, magical powers, or instantaneous talismans, divine talismans, etc., they can do this. There is no need to explain everything clearly, let outsiders guess, and you fill in the blanks. After a few people had a brief discussion and unified the words, Chen Xianmin summoned Zhang Qiui and other foundation-building cultivators to tell the matter. The evil sharks disappeared, is that true? They were hunted by powerful sea monsters on the way. Well, there is always someone who can defeat someone else. Haha, we are lucky this time. Are you guys still going back to Hunyuan Island in shame? That's not necessary. Since the threat of the evil sharks has been lifted, why are we still going back to Hunyuan Island to eat the northwest wind and listen to the cold words? Turn around quickly, let's go back to Xiuangu Island first. Zhang Qiui and the other foundation builders discussed for a few words, but they didn't care too much about how Chen Xianmin knew about this news. In fact, they had already found out about the Chen family after forming a team, so they would not start cooperation casually without knowing the situation. Because in their opinion, when the Chen family of Lingjian Island was established, it was a foundation-building family. Now more than 200 years have passed, and it is still the same. But they don't believe that a family has been passed down for more than 200 years without accumulating some foundation and obtaining a few treasures. The Chen family has accumulated a lot of wealth by selling red iron swords, water and fire Taoist robes, spiritual scallops and other resources over the years. It is not surprising that they have some special means in their hands. There is no need to go into it. The more you know, the easier it is to be killed. They are quite afraid of Chen Xianmin and Chen Qingyun. They are really afraid of saying the wrong thing or doing something wrong and offending them. Who would bother to provoke this future purple mansion true man? Only when your brain is stuck will you ask more questions. It is precisely because of this that many people now have different views on the Chen family, and they should not underestimate the fact that they have few cultivators and low combat effectiveness. If the Chen family really wants to take action, they can easily crush these 500 people to ashes. They are not made of mud. Chen Xianmin had originally prepared a speech to answer some questions properly. As a result, Zhang Qiui and the others had no intention of asking more questions. They pretended that they didn't want to ask anything and that whatever the Chen family said was true, and hid all the doubts in their hearts. Then, their focus shifted and they decided to follow Chen Xianmin back to Xiuangu Island to garrison. They were also tempted by the 400 mission rewards. Counting the days, as long as they garrisoned for another month, they would get the reward. And it was worth it. And it would be a bit embarrassing to escape back to Hunyuan Island in disgrace. Everyone made a happy decision and arrived at Xiuangu Island half a day later. Zhang Qiui was also cautious and insisted on exploring the situation around the island and confirming that there was no threat from monsters before he was willing to land on the island. After staying on the island for a few days, they did not encounter any attacks from the evil sharks, and they were completely relieved. A few days ago, when they returned to Xiuangu Island, Chen Xianmin did not forget to send a message to the patrol team of the regiment, summoning them to return to Xiuangu Island for a gathering. In this way, the group continued to stay on Xiuangu Island. As for the mysterious disappearance of the evil shark group, Zhang Qiui and others often discussed it in the first few days. Later, as time passed, they no longer paid attention to it, and gradually ignored it, and even deliberately did not mention it. The reason for this is actually very simple. Chapter 270, Counting the Total Harvest. This overwhelming wealth. When they encountered a group of evil sharks that were difficult to deal with, They were forced to retreat and run back to Hunyuan Island to avoid the limelight, so they had to give up the mission. Now that the threat has been lifted, they have changed their minds and returned to continue to garrison Xiuangu Island. This back and forth, those who don't know would think they are doing something. It was originally a very simple matter. If you can beat them, fight; if you can't beat them, run away. Now that the threat has been lifted, they can naturally return to Xiuangu Island to garrison. However, if this move is spread out, it will definitely be talked about with relish, attracting some discussions and criticisms. Everyone also wants to earn military merits, in the face of interests and face. They will not shoot themselves in the foot and expose this matter. Therefore, this matter is kept as a secret and rotten in everyone's stomach. Only those participants know about it, and they won't be idle to tell others. At least, during the period of the campaign, unless Master Bail asks, they will not mention it. Everyone should keep it secret. Just pretend it never happened. In the next month, the island was calm and peaceful, with no monsters attacking. Everything seemed extremely peaceful. In itself, because Xiuangu Island was relatively remote, the evil sharks came here to grab supplies and get some equipment because they saw that the defense line here was weak. Some tribesmen were wiped out in front, and a stronger force was sent behind to take revenge and vent their anger. As a result, they lost both the lady and the soldiers, and were wiped out by Chen Qingyun. Later, the evil sharks really didn't dare to come, and simply changed to another place to grab resources elsewhere, and took advantage of the situation to launch a joint operation with the monster tide. When there was no beast tide attacking, they started to clean up individual monsters around the sea and fight wild monsters everywhere when they were bored. Chen Qingyun released Bawang, and Jiuyu was active in the surrounding seas, killing 2 second-level monsters, and the military merit increased by 200 points. Soon, 2 days before the end of the mission, the new team arrived at Xiuangu Island. After Chen Xianmin and his group completed the handover, they set off back to Hunyuan Island and received 700 points of war merit each. On registering at the war merit square, in order to avoid meeting Zhang Qiuai and his group, Chen Xianmin and his group registered first. There are 2 types of counters in the war merit square: public and private. The former is to register war merit in public, and the latter is in a small private room, isolated from the outside world. After Zhang Qiuai and his group completed the registration, exchanged resources and left, Chen Qingyun, under the cover of his clansmen, began to enter a small private room to register war merit. The person who was responsible for receiving them this time happened to be the previous Xingzong Foundation builder, named Wei Wu'u. Huh? When, seeing so many demon pills being taken out, Wei Wu'u looked at Chen Qingyun in surprise. Originally, seeing Chen Qingyun take out so many demon pills again, he felt that it was not simple. It was this Chen family cultivator again, and he was still so fierce in hunting demons. What appeared in front of him was the demon pills of more than 1,000 evil sharks. It's really scary to be young. Until a 3rd-level demon pill appeared, he finally couldn't control the look on his face, and was quite surprised. 3rd level, mermaid demon pill. This thing is quite rare. You still have this in your hand. It's really rare. Where did this 3rd-level demon pill come from? Obviously, it can be ruled out that it was purchased in the market, the Chamber of Commerce, etc. with spiritual stones. The market price of the 3rd-level demon pill is at least more than 2,000 spiritual stones. Who would be stupid enough to spend 2,000 spiritual stones to buy a demon pill, and then exchange it for 1,000 war merits, and lose more than 1,000 spiritual stones? Purple Mansion cultivators don't waste money like this. Since it was not purchased, it must have been obtained by killing. Judging from the quality of the demon pill and the demon power contained in it, the time of obtaining it will not exceed 2 months at most. Responsible for registering war merits, Wei Wu'u has seen all kinds of demon pills, and he can already distinguish the time when these demon pills were obtained. Chen Qingyun smiled slightly at Wei Wu'u's surprise, and did not explain anything, just wait for the registration. With so many demon pills, if you work harder, your family will have a chance to exchange for a Purple Mansion crystal. My friend, there is hope for the Purple Mansion. He smiled slightly, and it can be seen that Chen Qingyun is about to break through the bottleneck of the Purple Mansion. A genius of this age, in the Xingzong, is at least an inner disciple. If he has a better future, he can also serve as a star patrol, and his status and reputation will rise all of a sudden. Thank you for your good words, Senior. Chen Qingyun smiled faintly, responded politely, and then watched Wei Wu calculate the military merits. After a calculation, there are 1,170 first-level demon pills, 45 second-level demon pills, and 1 third-level demon pill. Among them, the evil shark group wiped out has 1,054 first-level evil sharks, 35 second-level evil sharks, and 1 third-level evil shark. The rest of the demon pills were obtained when the first evil shark group was cleared during the raid on Xiuangu Island. 116 first-level and 8 second-level. The remaining 2 were second-level demon pills, which were obtained while hunting outside while stationed on Xiuangu Island. These demon pills are converted into 17,200 points of war merit, plus the 700 points of this mission reward. A total of 17,900 points of war merit have been received. Add to that the 6,470 points of war merit accumulated before, and it is 24,370 points. So far, the 2 missions have rewarded 500 and 700 points. A total of 30,490 points of war merit have been gained. You have accumulated 24,370 points of war merit now. Among all the foundation building cultivators, you have the most war merits I have ever seen. Wei Wu smiled faintly. It is hard to imagine that to kill so many monsters, more than 1,000, is equivalent to wiping out a third-level beast tide. The third-level mermaid, which among them is not something that ordinary foundation building cultivators can deal with. This young man from the Chen family must have some amazing killer in his hand. As a deacon, I have seen too many cultivators come to register their military merits during this period, some more and some less, and the number is different. But it is the first time I have seen someone like Chen Qingyun. As for whether these demon pills were taken from other clansmen or by killing people and stealing treasures, the probability of this is very small. It is not necessary to collect demon pills from clansmen for registration. In the end, they can all be exchanged for resources with military merits. There is no need to do this. It is not safe for family cultivators to collect demon pills on one person. It is easy to attract outsiders to covet, and then there will be evil deeds of killing people and stealing treasures. Will Chen Qingyun go to kill people and steal treasures? I am afraid he does not have the courage. Let alone the foundation building cultivators. Even if the Golden Core Patriarch violated the discipline, killed his teammates, and robbed the demon pill resources, the Star Sect would definitely not show mercy. After finding out the truth, it will be made public and killed directly. If we cannot ensure that the cultivators from all sides and the independent cultivators from all over the world can hunt monsters and gain military merits without worry, this battle will be lost. By then, the demon tide in the Star Sea has not been pacified, but the family has collapsed due to the civil war. So how can there be any victory? If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 271, one is attacking the Foundation. The other is opening up the Purple Palace. Under the strong intimidation of Xingzong, no one dared to take advantage of their teammates' demon elixir resources. Even if there is a fight, it must be done on the basis of mutual consent and friendly transactions. At the end of the battle, Xingzong will randomly use the God Questing Talisman to randomly check the origins of some monks' demon pills. This makes many monks have no courage even if they have evil intentions. Anyone who is identified and reports that the demon pill in his hand has an unclean origin can directly ask the magic talisman to investigate the truth. Chen Qingyun had no intention of chatting for a long time, so he cupped his hands and responded politely, "I just have better luck." Haha. It's rare for you to be so humble and have such a character. You will definitely become a great person in the future, but you are no less inferior to the proud men of our Qing sect. Your Chen family has cultivated a good youngster. Wei Wu praised. The descendants of their family were praised by the deacons of Xingzhou. Chen Xianming and others felt that they were proud of themselves, and they were also very optimistic about Chen Qingyun. After a few words of conversation, no one had any intention of exchanging the magic weapon for the time being, so they turned around and left. On the day they returned to their residence, the 9 members of the Chen family held a small meeting to discuss what to do during the rest period in the coming month. Chen Qingyun and others didn't say much, they either practiced or rested. The focus is Chen Qingyun. Since her cultivation broke through to the 9th level of Qi refining more than 2 months ago, and she has experienced battles, her current cultivation has been almost polished. You can definitely try to hit the foundation building period. She herself also had this idea, to improve her strength thoroughly, so that she would be able to kill more monsters and increase the amount of combat achievements. However, this foundation establishment pill was obtained by everyone working together and redeeming it with their military exploits. Naturally, it would not be given to Chen Qingyun for free. Chen Qingyun was embarrassed to accept this. Therefore, after everyone discussed it, they finally decided to sell the foundation establishment pill to Chen Qingyun for 10,000 spirit stones. Perhaps, it would be very difficult for other tribesmen to come up with so many spiritual stones to purchase foundation establishment pills. Even if it is paid in installments, it will take more than 10 or 20 years to pay it off. But don't forget, Chen Qingyun is different. Not to mention that she is a first-class weapon refiner who can refine magical weapons in exchange for spiritual stones, making it easier to obtain profits than most of her clan members. More importantly, she has 2-part income from hematite veins. Over the past few years, she has accumulated 13,400 spiritual stones, and she still has enough money to buy a foundation establishment pill at once. Everyone present knew that Chen Qingyun had the ability to purchase the foundation establishment pill, so the decision was made. 10,000 spiritual stones, this foundation building pill will be used to buy Qingyan. Chen Xianming opened his mouth and took out the foundation establishment pill. Okay, I agree. Chen Daoran and others nodded immediately. I also have a moonflower grass here. 5th sister, you can take it too. It will increase your probability of foundation building by another 20%. Chen Qingyun took out a jade box and opened it, revealing the snow-white elixir inside. This moonflower grass was exchanged from Wei Xiangyuan, a foundation-building monk, when she and Liu Zilin participated in the barter conference in Hefang City. After that, he kept it on his body, hoping to benefit his people. Now that the opportunity has arisen, it is perfect for Chen Qingyun. Hey, you Huakao, Qingyun, you still have such treasures. Seeing the moonflower grass appear, Chen Dalin's eyes lit up. He couldn't help but look at it and said, "This moonflower grass grows in a cold and shady place outdoors. It absorbs the essence of the moon and takes 50 years to grow. In addition to the medicinal value of these spiritual herbs, if taken together with the foundation building pill, they can exert their full medicinal effect, which can indeed increase the probability of foundation building by 20%. Hearing the wonders of moonflower grass, Chen Qingyun's face lit up with joy. This spiritual grass is so magical. Good. Chen Qingyun smiled and nodded. I got this moonflower grass at a barter conference. It's useless to keep it in my hands. Now, it would be great if it can be used in the hands of 5th sister. Ha ha ha, Qingyun is interested. Before Chen Qingyun could reply, Chen Xianming couldn't help but laugh out loud, with a happy expression on his face. King Yan, take advantage of this rest period to build your foundation. Our Chen family will soon give birth to the 7th foundation building monk. Under the eyes of several tribesmen, Chen Qingyun, Chen Qingyun, and Chen Qingyun looked envious, and Chen Qingyun took the foundation establishment pill and moonflower grass. I have 10,000 spirit stones with me. Please give them to the clan leader. Chen Qingyun first paid 10,000 spirit stones to the old patriarch, and then, not wanting to take the moonflower grass in vain, She asked Chen Dailin the price of it. After learning that it was 1,100 spirit stones, he took out the spirit stones and insisted on giving them to Chen Qingyun. Qingyun, I have often relied on you over the years and gained many benefits from you. I bought this moonflower grass at the market price and cannot take advantage of you. Chen Qingyun said seriously. Seeing that Chen Qingyun had so many spirit stones, Chen Qingfeng and Chen Qingyun looked envious. Everyone can guess that over the years, she has earned a lot of spiritual stones from the 30% profit share of hematite award. Opportunities are so wonderful. When he came, the spiritual stone also came with him. Good. Knowing the fifth sister's nature, Chen Qingyun did not refuse, accepted the spirit stone, and wished her an early success in building the foundation. And he himself also decided to try to attack the Zaifu period. When Chen Xianming mentioned this idea to his clan members and would be in seclusion for the next month, he was the first to show excitement. He held Chen Qingyun's hand, his eyes full of hope and longing. Strike the Purple Mansion stage. That's great. I've always hoped that you could enter the Purple Mansion stage before me. The Chen family, which has been passed down to this day, should have a Purple Mansion cultivator. Qingyun, you two are great. Go to seclusion after you are ready. We will wait for you to come out. Chen Qingfeng smiled heartily. This was more exciting than going to seclusion to build a foundation. On the same day, Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun decided to go into seclusion at the same time, and the time of coming out was uncertain. Fortunately, during the rest period after the mission, Xingzong has regulations that as long as the cultivators who meet the requirements of seclusion and really need to break through the bottleneck of cultivation can go into seclusion after registration. You can wait until you break through the bottleneck before coming out. The length of this seclusion can be half a month, 1 month, 2 months, or even half a year. This is quite humane. It usually takes more than a month to break through from the foundation building stage to the Purple Mansion stage. During this period, if the Chen family gets a new task to perform, it won't be too dangerous with the help of the Skyfire Meteor formation. When the group is assigned tasks, it is still easy to assign tasks to a small group of 8 or 9 people in the Chen family. There is no shortage of a few people, just take them over and gather them together. As long as their strength is not dispersed, there is Chen Xianming, the peak combat power of the foundation building stage, and there is no danger unless they encounter a third-level monster. Therefore, Chen Qingyun can rest assured to attack the Purple Mansion stage. Chapter 272, Great Bee Cave, both in retreat, with Chen Xianming in charge of the family team and the Skyfire Meteor formation as a blessing. According to the difficulty of the tasks currently arranged by the Xingzong, it is not necessary to fight desperately. As long as there is no third-level monster or any particularly dangerous situation, it can be easily resolved. After finalizing the retreat of Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun, this small meeting ended. Next, it is to choose a retreat cave. There are 2 large 4th-level spiritual veins on Hunyuan Island, which can not only meet the cultivation needs of giant and period cultivators, but also a treasure land for retreat and impact of Purple Mansion. The 2 spiritual veins, one island called Jianyang Mountain and the other is called Linyuan Mountain. Xingzong has built a large number of caves on these 2 spiritual veins, adding up to more than 5,000. Even so, there are not many idle caves now, and there are still about 100 caves available for living. When Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun came to the cave registration office together, there was a long queue here, all of whom were cultivators at the bottleneck period of cultivation. When it was their turn, they learned that Chen Qingyun was going to attack the Purple Mansion. The Xingzong cultivator who was in charge of assigning caves looked up at Chen Qingyun and said with a look of admiration, "According to Dao's request, a Class B cave will be assigned to you. The caves are divided into 4 levels from high to low, A, B, C, and D. And their locations on the spiritual veins are also different. The closer to the top of the mountain, The better the cave and the more abundant the spiritual energy. Class D caves correspond to Qi refining cultivators. Class C caves are used by foundation building cultivators and seclusion. Class B caves are generally used by foundation building cultivators who need a large amount of heaven and earth spiritual energy to attack the purple mansion stage, as well as purple mansion stage cultivators. Class A caves are only open to giant and stage cultivators. They are located at the top of the spiritual veins and can overlook the entire Jianyuan island. They are the places with the most concentrated spiritual energy. A. Grade B cave. Okay. As for the cave, Chen Qingyun had nothing to complain about, as long as it could meet the conditions for the purple mansion. Xingzong did a good job in service. Whether it was the reception when he first arrived at Jianyuan island, the registration of military merits, or the allocation of the retreat cave, every link was well served, leaving a good impression. Such a top force that dominates the Star Sea. To be able to achieve this level of service and reception, it is said that people cannot find fault with it, and there is no arrogance or condescending attitude at all. It is not easy to achieve this. Xingzong has been able to stand in the Star Sea for thousands of years. Apart from its strong foundation, the atmosphere of the sect has left a very good impression on the outside world, and it will not put on any stinky airs. Fellow Taoist, wait a moment. The Xingzong deacon smiled slightly, envious of Chen Qingyun's achievements. At the same age, others are already about to open up the purple mansion, but he is still hovering at the 9th level of Qi refining, accumulating sect contribution points to exchange for foundation building pills. There is really no harm without comparison. Senior, during the war, all caves on the island can be used for free, unless summoned by force. The retreat time will last until the end of the war. I hope you can arrange your time reasonably. This is your cave token. Please keep it. After a while, the Xingzong Qi refiner showed respect, deliberately reminded the rules of the cave, and handed over a cave token. In recent times, some casual cultivators have deliberately stayed in retreat for a long time in order to covet the opportunity to practice spiritual veins. Xingzong has launched a thorough investigation on this, and will send people out from time to time to observe the retreat status of the major cultivators in the cave with the magic weapon Xuanchen Guanling Mirror. As long as they see someone who has made a breakthrough in cultivation, they will remind him to leave the cave as soon as possible. In the case of limited resources, the fairness of the use of caves must be guaranteed. In this way, there will be no criticism, and everyone can enjoy the benefits of the cave when breaking through the bottleneck. Okay. Chen Qingyun nodded and looked at the cave token in his hand. The cave he obtained was located in Jianyang Mountain, near the top of the mountain. The cave is named Yisengliu. When Chen Qingyun also got the cave, the two compared and found that Chen Qingyun's cave was C99. The Xingzong deacon learned that Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun needed to retreat to build the foundation, so he directly allocated a C-level cave for her to use. It is worth mentioning that the two caves are located one above and one below, and the distance is only a few hundred meters, so they can sense each other's retreat status. After obtaining the right to use the cave, the two informed the tribe members on the same day and began to retreat. In the cave, Chen Qingyun simply familiarized himself with the environment, and then took out all the demon pills on his body to sort them out. After this period of battle, he counted the total number of demon pills. 1 third-level demon pill, 111 second-level demon pills, and 1809 first-level demon pills. I have devoured 630 first-level demon pills and the flesh and blood of many demon beasts with my skills. According to the progress of my skills, as long as I devour another 370 first-level demon pills, I can open up the purple mansion and advance to the purple mansion stage. Chen Qingyun quickly calculated the result by summing up the demon beast resources he had devoured recently and how much he was still far from reaching the purple mansion stage. The first-level demon pill has a minimum value of 10 spirit stones and a maximum of 80. The second-level demon pill has a minimum price of 160 spirit stones and a maximum of 1280. So, in terms of cost-effectiveness, the second-level demon pill is expensive and in small quantities. It can be used for alchemy and medicine, so it is naturally not suitable for large-scale devouring. The first-level demon pills are in large quantities and cheap, so Chen Qingyun first chose to devour the first-level demon pills. To practice the great wilderness devouring demon art and devour numerous demon beast resources, in order to reach the Purple Mansion stage, one needs to devour about 1,000 first-order demon beasts. This number fluctuates, because among the first-order demon beasts, there are also different strengths, and it is impossible to unify the specific number. For example, to devour a second-order demon beast, about 60 are needed. And to devour a third-order demon beast, about 5 are needed. The specific amount of demon beast resources required to break through the Purple Mansion stage is determined by the blood strength and strength of the demon beast itself. In short, the demon beast resources required to impact the Purple Mansion stage through the great wilderness devouring demon art are converted into spirit stones, which are worth about 50,000 spirit stones. This is equivalent to 1,000 first-order demon beasts. Taking the average value from the first-order low-grade demon pill to the first-order extreme, that is, 37.5 spirit stones per demon pill, the total value of the demon pill is 37,500 spirit stones. In addition, the flesh, claws, fur, etc. of the monster itself are also valuable. When added to the price of the monster pill, the resource consumption of 50,000 spirit stones is obtained. In fact, it is equivalent to consuming half a Purple Mansion crystal. From this point of view, it is obviously more cost-effective to use the great wilderness devouring monster art to advance to the Purple Mansion stage than to purchase the Purple Mansion crystal. After sorting out the monster pills, Chen Qingyun still did not plan to devour the second-level monster pills and flesh, and decided to devour the first-level monster first. For the storage of monster resources, the existence of Ganyu Bingyu gave him an advantage. He did not need to purchase ice talismans for storage like other cultivators. Sitting cross-legged, Chen Qingyun began to practice the devouring monster art, refining the essence of the first-level monster pills and flesh, swallowing them, and turning them all into his own power. Chapter 273 Promotion to Purple Mansion. Time passed so quickly that 15 days passed in a blink of an eye. 370 demon pills and the flesh and blood of many demon beasts were finally devoured by Chen Qingyun continuously, and turned into power gathered in his body. Chen Qingyun clearly felt that at this time, there was a great demon power and true essence gathering in his body at the same time, all circling in the danshin in the lower abdomen. At this stage, you can officially try to impact the Purple Mansion. There are 3 steps to open up the Purple Mansion. The first step is to open up the upper danshin, which is also called the No Palace. It is located at the ancestral orifice between the eyebrows and is the place where chi is stored. Only by opening up the upper danshin can the soul be greatly improved, thus connecting the other 2 danshins. The second step is to mobilize the power of the soul from the upper danshin to penetrate the middle danshin, improve one's own blood and essence, and make the foundation of Taoism perfect. The middle danshin is located in the heart of the human body, at the Danzong point, where qi is stored and an important hub for connecting the upper danshin and the lower danshin. Whether or not you can break through the Purple Palace, the most critical step is here. As for the lower danshin, it is the lower abdomen area, 3 inches below the navel, where the Guanyu and Aku point is located. This is the place where the cultivators store their mana for qi refining and foundation building. The danshin mentioned by the cultivators actually refers to this lower danshin. It is the first of the 3 danshins and the danshin used at the beginning of the road to cultivation. It is already very familiar. The so-called opening up of the Purple Palace is to integrate the 3 danshins into a whole after the opening up of the upper danshin and the middle danshin. When the 3 danshins are integrated, it is necessary to absorb a large amount of spiritual energy from the heaven and earth and refine it into spiritual energy to strengthen the foundation. As long as you progress step by step and successfully complete the above 3 steps, you can be considered a cultivator in the Purple Palace. The principle of breaking through the Purple Palace of this great wilderness devouring demon art is actually to strengthen the Taoist body with the power of thousands of demons, play the role of a lubricant, and complete these 3 steps with the absorption of spiritual energy from heaven and earth. Chen Qingyun has been tempering his soul since the qi refining stage. His soul is much stronger than that of the cultivators of the same level, laying a solid foundation for the impact of the Purple Palace. When developing the upper Danshan, it only took 3 days to complete. This step has stuck many foundation-building cultivators, but it is not a problem for Chen Qingyun, and it is very easy. Next, it is to develop the middle Danshan. This step is much more difficult than the previous step. But for Chen Qingyun, it is the time when the great wilderness-devouring demon art will work again. Under the impact of the majestic demon power and true essence, the blood and essence in his body are constantly optimized, which makes the Tao body significantly improved. This step only took 6 days to complete. When the upper Danshan and the middle Danshan are connected at the same time to integrate the lower Danshan, the surrounding vast amount of heaven and earth spiritual energy will flow into the body more crazily, and quickly travel in the 3 Danshans. When it comes to this last step, a spiritual energy vortex forms like a thundercloud, gathering and circling above the cave where Chen Qingyun is. In an instant, the wind and clouds surged. This attracted the attention of many cultivators around the cave and at the foot of Jianyang Mountain. That is a vortex of spiritual energy. Someone is breaking through the Purple Mansion stage. I wonder which fellow Taoist it is. I'm really envious. In the cave, Chen Qingyun sucked countless spiritual energy from the world into his body like a giant whale sucking water, and turned it into spiritual energy. 11 hours later, he finally successfully connected the 3 major Danshans and broke through the bottleneck in one fell swoop. His spirit and spirit have been qualitatively improved, and his cultivation realm has entered the Purple Mansion stage. The whole process took 25 days. For Chen Qingyun, it was almost a natural process and there was no difficulty. At this moment, his state of mind changed a little. Feeling the huge leap in strength, he became more and more eager for stronger strength, and his heart to seek the Tao became more determined. Recalling the little qi refining cultivator who had traveled to this world and quickly integrated into the family from being cautious. Later, he went upstream step by step and became the elder and backbone of the family, and transformed from a cocoon into a butterfly. Now, he has become the first Purple Mansion cultivator in the history of the family and the pillar of the Chen family. All kinds of experiences made Chen Qingyun sigh in his heart, and he felt that time flew by and he didn't know how many years it took to practice. Feeling the changes in the soul, magic power, Tao body, and state of mind, he can intuitively feel the gap between the Purple Mansion period and the Foundation establishment period. At least 10 times more than the original combat power. With the improvement of the soul, he can now control at least 15 magic weapons, which is 3 times stronger than the cultivators of the same level. With this level of soul strength, it is not a problem to control 200 or 300 second-level magic tools. The difference in the requirements for the mind between the second-level magic tools and magic tools is particularly huge. As long as the mind is still in the Foundation establishment period, it is impossible to control magic tools, not even one. On the other hand, ordinary Purple Mansion cultivators can control up to 100 second-level magic tools at the same time. Chen Qingyun has a strong soul foundation. After breaking through the Purple Mansion stage, his soul is stronger than that of the cultivators of the same level, and he has an absolute advantage. Whether it is strengthening magic tools, making puppets, or fusing magic tools, he has the confidence. However, now is not the time to do these things. The clan leader and others are looking forward to Chen Qingyun coming out of retreat. After sorting it out, Chen Qingyun flew out of the cave and went to the Class C-99 caves to find Chen Qingyun as soon as possible, and found that she had come out of retreat. I hope that the foundation is successfully built. Chen Qingyun flew down the mountain and handed back the cave token at the cave registration office. Congratulations to Senior for breaking through the Z Mansion. The Qing sect monk in charge of the reception recognized Chen Qingyun, immediately smiled respectfully and congratulated him. "Thank you." Chen Qingyun said politely, rose into the air, and flew towards the distance. The monks of Zaifu can directly fly in the air and fly without the help of magic weapons. This immediately attracted the attention of many monks around him and greeted him with envious looks. Chen Qingyun ignored this and flew straight to the area where the Chen family was located, finding Chen Qingyun first. "Qingyun, have you broken through Zaifu?" Seeing Chen Qingyun coming out of seclusion, she looked happy and asked with anticipation. Chen Qingyun nodded. "Yes, you have also broken through to the foundation building stage?" "Well, I broke through 9 days ago." The two looked at each other and smiled, both happy that each other could break through the bottleneck. Next, Chen Qingyun told Chen Xianming and others about the news of his release. When he saw Chen Qingyun coming out of seclusion and breaking through the Zaifu period, Chen Xianming couldn't help laughing. Okay. My Chen family has inherited it for 234 years. In the Qing generation, the first Zaifu monk was finally born. I have the opportunity to wait for this day. Our Chen family on Linjian Island is going to be promoted to the Zaifu family. Ha ha ha. Chen Xianming laughed and excitedly stepped forward and firmly held Chen Qingyun's hand. Chapter 274, The Zhang Family of Yanhuang Mountain. "Qingyun, congratulations on opening up the Purple Mansion." Ha ha ha, Uncle Dalen, you were worried before that Qingyun would not be able to break through the Purple Mansion in the short term without the assistance of the Purple Mansion crystal. I would say you were worrying too much. This lucky person has his own luck. Qingyun has always had good luck. This is the first Purple Mansion cultivator in our family in more than 200 years. Chen Qingyun, Chen Qingfeng, and Chen Daoran spoke one after another. The rest of the people were also full of smiles, and surrounded Chen Qingyun like a star, as if they were looking at a rare treasure. The benefits brought by Chen Qingyun's ability to open up the Purple Mansion and successfully advance to the next level are not only for himself. For the Chen family, it can also greatly enhance the family's status and prestige, and directly shake the balance between the major forces in the Xingsha Islands. In the Xingsha Islands, there are a total of 15 immortal cultivation families, including 5 qi refining families and 9 foundation building families. The remaining family is the Zhang family of Yanhuang Mountain. Before this, all the families in Xingsha Islands took the Zhang family as the leader by default and regarded it as the first family in Xingsha Islands. So they would try their best to give in to the Zhang family in terms of territory and resources, and were unwilling to provoke them. There was no way. The Zhang family was powerful. There were 2 Purple Mansion cultivators, more than 30 foundation building cultivators, and nearly 1,000 cultivators in the family. In the past 100 years, the Zhang family was in its heyday, and its influence had covered most of the Xingsha Islands. It can be said that one hand covered half of the sky. The other 14 families could only share the resources that leaked from the Zhang family's fingernails. In recent years, the Zhang family has secretly suppressed the development of other families and consolidated its own power. This has been done a lot. Now, Chen Qingyun has become a Purple Mansion cultivator. After waiting for the news to spread, the Chen family will be promoted to a Purple Mansion family. The outside world sees Chen Qingyun as young and promising, and there must be some people who love him and some who hate him. Those qi refining families such as the Yang family and the Zhu family will naturally come to curry favor with the Chen family and establish friendly exchanges. As for who is hostile to the Chen family and wants to suppress Chen Qingyun, it is undoubtedly the Zhang family. As long as Chen Qingyun is allowed to continue to grow, in the near future, who will have the final say in the Xingsha Islands? It will not just be the Zhang family. Even the Zhang family will be banned by the Chen family and become the second family in the Xingsha Islands. Therefore, the appearance of Chen Qingyun, no matter how it develops in the future, will definitely be inextricably linked to the Zhang family. If the relationship between the two families is not handled well, small conflicts are inevitable. If there is a big conflict, it means that the contradiction between the two families breaks out. It is not surprising that there will be a war between the two families at that time. Whether the Xingsha Islands will be peaceful in the future depends on how the Chen family and the Zhang family get along. Is it to work together to maintain the peace of the islands? Or there is no room for two tigers in one mountain, and they insist on distinguishing the superior and the inferior, and only one family has the final say. Chen Qingyun's promotion to the Purple Mansion period has brought a lot of influence, which has raised the status of the Chen family by several steps at once, and will also make the Chen family receive attention from all sides. However, even if the Zhang family blocks the way ahead and they may develop a hostile relationship with each other, so what? Could it be that they still don't attack the Purple Mansion? That's absolutely impossible. The Chen family was very excited and didn't care about the big families like the Zhang family. They pulled Chen Qingyun to look here and there with joy, as if they were looking for flowers. The Chen family gave birth to a Purple Mansion cultivator, which will be recorded in the family history. When they return to the family, the whole family will definitely be excited. The old patriarch laughed the happiest and praised several times in a row. It was amazing that he could break through to the Purple Mansion stage without using the Purple Mansion crystal. Our Chen family has been thriving in recent years. Now we have a Purple Mansion cultivator. Such a big happy event. Shouldn't we have a good banquet to celebrate? Chen Qingyun said. Our family has the strength, so we can't just stay there. We should establish our power and expand our sphere of influence. Qingyun is right. Having no sword and having a sword but not using it are two completely different things. The family has a Purple Mansion cultivator, which is a family guarding sword in itself. It can deter all directions and save the family a lot of trouble, and repel those who want to attack the family. Chen Xianming smiled and thought carefully. However, there is no need to rush to hold a big banquet to celebrate. It will not be too late to do it after returning to the family. Now, for Qingyun, the most urgent task is to consolidate his cultivation realm. The old patriarch is far-sighted and mentioned the key points. More importantly, Qingyun should also obtain the subsequent cultivation techniques. This matter cannot be delayed. Hearing Chen Xianming's proposal, several people nodded repeatedly. When Chen Taixu established the Chen family, there were not many techniques passed down. Among them, the highest grade is the foundation building technique Fiery Sky Sword Art, which can be cultivated to the peak of the foundation building period. Among the Chen family, only Chen Xianming was gifted and cultivated this technique to perfection, refining the quasi-life magic weapon, the Fiery Sky Sword, with combat power far exceeding that of the cultivators of the same level. The second is the Fiery Shining Gold technique that Chen Qingyun mainly practices, and his highest achievement is also the peak of foundation building. In terms of power, it is a little inferior to the Fiery Sky Sword technique. In terms of foundation building techniques, the two techniques of the Chen family, plus the three techniques obtained from the Zhao family, just cover the 5 elements. At present, the Chen family does not lack foundation building techniques, but what they lack is techniques above foundation building. Everyone is aware of this shortcoming and needs to make plans early to find a technique suitable for Chen Qingyun as soon as possible. Fortunately, this is not difficult. In the current Xinghai cultivation world, among the many cultivation resources, magic tools and elixirs are the most expensive, while the skills are much cheaper. Since the ancient destruction, the number of human cultivators has dropped sharply, and the high-end combat power has been lost, far from being able to compete with sea and land monsters. In order to reverse the disadvantage and pass on the spark, the ancestors of all generations have continued to preach and teach, encouraging cultivators to establish families, and strive to adjust the market price of skills to the lowest. This move lasted for hundreds of years, not only significantly improving the strength of the human race, but also many strong people emerged like mushrooms after rain. The skills and magical powers in various parts of Xinghai have even seen a flourishing and dazzling scene. It is precisely because of this that many superior skills are no longer so unattainable. For example, the price of the Xifu skills on the market is only about 8,000 spirit stones. Whether it is for the Chen family or other small families, Everyone works hard and it is not a problem to buy one. What kind of achievements can be achieved in the subsequent practice of skills depends on their respective talents and resource supply. Seeing that everyone was concerned about obtaining the subsequent exercises, Chen Qingyun smiled and said, I actually have a copy of the subsequent exercises, which is enough for me to practice to the golden core stage. When this was said, Chen Xianming showed surprise. Oh, you have the golden core exercise? The eyes of the other tribesmen also turned to Chen Qingyun. Chapter 275, Share the Great Wilderness Devouring Demons Skill and Seize the Opportunity. I was lucky enough to get a technique that can condense golden elixirs. I have been practicing it for a while. Chen Qingyun said, the skill is called Great Wilderness Demon Swallowing Skill. You can also practice it. He personally tested it and confirmed that the Great Wilderness Demon Swallowing technique could open up the Purple Mansion without any side effects, so he took the initiative to mention this technique. At present, Chen Xianming and others have accumulated a lot of monster resources in their hands, which is an excellent time to practice. The Great Wilderness Demon Swallowing technique, can it condense golden elixirs? When they listened carefully and learned that Chen Qingyun broke through the bottleneck of cultivation by swallowing demon pills and demon beast flesh, Chen Xianming and others suddenly felt incredible. There is such a wonderful skill in this world. Without further ado, Chen Qingyun took out the Great Wilderness Demon Swallowing technique and showed it to the tribesmen. Chen Xianming was the first to finish browsing the exercises, with a look of emotion on his face. This method is exquisite. By swallowing the flesh and blood of demon beasts and demon elixirs, you can improve your cultivation level and help break through bottlenecks. Finally, you can gather the power of all demons to condense golden elixirs. It is really amazing. This battle is really an excellent opportunity for you to practice the Great Wasteland Demon Swallowing technique. It will definitely benefit you a lot. The old patriarch said, passing the technique to several others to watch. Soon after reading it, Chen Daoran, Chen Qingyun and others all came up with the idea of cultivating. At first, if Chen Qingyun had come up with this technique earlier, they might not have believed that practicing this technique could open up the Z Mansion. Now, with living examples in front of them, they no longer question it, and at the same time they all have the same idea in their hearts, that is, practice and see. Chen Qingyun was already very interested and said, the Great Wilderness Demon Swallowing technique is divided into 3 parts, upper, middle and lower, corresponding to the Qi refining stage, foundation building stage and Purple Mansion stage. All of us present can practice it. I am currently at the 8th level of Qi refining. If I practice for a few days, I can reach the 9th level of Qi refining. If I want to break through to the foundation establishment stage later, I don't need to use the foundation establishment pill. As soon as these words came out, several people's eyes lit up, and they couldn't help but wonder if this was really possible. The next moment, they saw Chen Qingyun nodded, okay. According to the description of the technique, from the 9th level of Qi refining to the foundation building stage, it takes about 200 first-level monsters to be swallowed. It takes about 6 to swallow a second-level monster. The specific number depends on the monster's bloodline strength and strength. Good. Chen Xianming made a careful calculation and said, I carefully calculated that the demon elixir of 200 first-level demonic beasts is equivalent to about 7,500 spirit stones, plus minions, flesh and blood, etc. The total value is 10,000 spirit stones, which is equivalent to 1 foundation building elixir. When Chen Qingyun heard this, he couldn't help but murmured, well, looking at it this way, I devoured 200 first-level monsters and broke through to the foundation building stage, which is equivalent to spending 10,000 spiritual stones. Isn't that still the price of a foundation establishment pill? No, no, no. Chen Daoran saw the difference here and shook his head repeatedly. Qingyun, you can't just take this matter at face value. You have to know that we are killing the monsters now, and after the monster pills are used to register military achievements, we can still dispose of them freely. As soon as these words came out, The atmosphere suddenly became quiet. Then, the people present instantly understood the meaning of Chen Daoran's words and discovered the highlight. Oops, that's right. After Chen Qingyun reacted, his eyes lit up and he couldn't help but slap his thigh. Register the demon pill, and then practice by swallowing the demon pill. You can maximize the benefits of the demon pill. Yes, it's about maximizing profits. Chen Daoran narrowed his eyes and said, based on the Star Sex Battle Merit Registration System, 200 first-level demon pills can be exchanged for 2,000 battle merits, which is a little less, but we can freely handle these demon pills, and they still have value. Speaking of this, Chen Daoran took a deep breath and said, we only need to take the demon pill to register the battle merit first, and at the same time continue to accumulate battle merit, and exchange it for resources such as the foundation building pill. Then, the demon pills and demon beast resources left in your hands can also be used to practice the Great Wilderness Demon Swallowing Technique. In this way, the war achievements are achieved, and the resources required for the practice of the Great Wilderness Demon Swallowing Technique are also available. This is a good thing that kills two birds with one stone and has a two-pronged approach. Ha 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 ha, yes, yes, yes. Chen Qingyun couldn't help but burst out laughing. By following this operation, you can have both military exploits and martial arts training resources. One demon pill can serve two purposes. Well, that's good if you understand. Chen Daoran nodded. Furthermore, it is much easier to obtain monster resources than to obtain foundation building pills. The most indispensable thing in the Star Sea today is monsters. Chen Xianming agreed, yes, monsters are easy to obtain, but foundation building pills are rare. While the battle is still going on, we can kill more monsters first and accumulate resources for practicing techniques without affecting the resources we can exchange for war merit. We can take these two paths at the same time without conflicting with each other. Everyone, do you still have the demon pills in your hands? Chen Xianming looked at Chen Dalan and others. Exist. Everyone nodded repeatedly and responded almost in unison. Everyone's faces showed joy, knowing that this was an opportunity. The original plan was that after the battle was over, the monster resources obtained would be sold for whatever amount they could get in exchange for spiritual stones. In itself, because of the advent of the Starsea monster tide, countless monster resources were circulating on the market, which quickly gave rise to an inflationary trend. During this period, the value of monster resources in the market began to decrease continuously, and it was far less valuable than the magic tools, formations, and elixirs of the same level. The average price of a first-level monster pill was 37.5 spirit stones, that was before. Now it may have dropped to 20 spirit stones. The Xingzong registered the war merits, and it was directly cut to 10 points of war merits, that is, 10 spirit stones. Oh, no, it can't be said to be cut in half. After all, the Xingzong does not charge the monster pills after registering the war merits. You can keep them and use them as you like. In this way, the cultivators still make money. For the Chen family, the emergence of Dong swallowing monsters allows them to directly choose to register the war merits first, and then swallow these monster resources for cultivation. Anyway, the ultimate purpose of selling monster resources is to earn spirit stones, and then obtain cultivation resources to improve cultivation, right? Now, the middle link is eliminated, and the cultivation is directly improved. The extra monster resources that cannot be swallowed can be sold again. Chen Qingyun had already sorted out the above pros and cons, and asked everyone to copy a copy of the Great Wilderness Devouring Demon Art. They still have a lot of demon beast resources in their hands, which is obviously the most suitable for cultivation. For this reason, Chen Qingyun chose to share the art. He hoped to see that during the war, the clan members could take advantage of this opportunity to rise one by one and quickly improve their cultivation. It would be great if one or two more foundation builders, or even the old clan leader, could break through the purple mansion. Qingyun, you are the treasure of our family. This art is simple and rough to improve cultivation, which suits me. Chen Qingyun was so excited that he never thought that he could get such an opportunity from Chen Qingyun. It was right to come to participate in the war this time. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.